Dude!
Ahoy!
What's up? Good Thursday. How's everybody doing?
A little jammed up. I kind of want to just bail on this after an hour or two and go watch the Fiesta Bowl. I hate when there's a big game that I actually want to see and we have to, work.
It's not the best.
It's not. Because you get distracted and you're catching every other, play and you can't hear it. And this stupid job thing
What a plight.
It's really bumming me out. My buddy on Monday was like, hey, you want to play golf? I'm like, no, I have to work. And he's like,
well, you have tomorrow off.
That's true. But then there's that other game that I see.
Well, that's not till 4:30.
Yeah. No. Monday he wanted me to play golf.
Oh.
And I was like, do you?
Well, I'm just saying play tomorrow.
He doesn't have a real job, and neither do I. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you.
And yet here you are bitching about
and yet
it.
here I am. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So maybe just shut up and watch the muted.
Well, listen.
Fiesta Bowl.
I feel you, especially when it's one you got money riding on.
Yeah.
You don't want to be doing a show.
No. I would this is one of those where, and tomorrow I will be, I'll be holed up on the couch, maybe order in some chicken tendies. I don't know. Sit down and just pop a couple banquets, and that's.
Well, at least we get to watch that one in the privacy and comforts of our own home.
Yes.
Because it's going to be on the fan.
I think both of these, pregame starting at, I don't know, all day. And then we got the watch party out at the Thirsty Lion, and, it's a whole thing.
A little weird that it's on a Thursday and a Friday.
A little strange.
Yeah.
A little strange, but. Yeah, I don't think they want to touch the NFL, which I get.
What do you think the ratings would be if they went up against? So, Panthers, Rams first?
I think that's the early game.
Bears, Packers. What if both games were opposite those two games?
You don't want to do that.
Well, I know you don't, but what would the ratings be? How much worse would they be?
I'm guessing a couple mil.
Yeah?
Yeah, it would be significant.
Couple mil?
It'd be significant. I mean, these games should get 20 plus, I would think.
You think so? 20?
I think these are going to be in the high teens. I think these are going to be in high teens and maybe crack 20. And if you're going head to head with the NFL, I think we're talking about the low teens. You don't want to do that. I mean, Miami Ole Miss, I guess it's not the big name brands, but Miami is. And there's good stories behind it, and Oregon's become a national brand. I think these games are going to do big ratings, but I remember when Bama and Michigan played, that thing did like a 27 in the semis.
Yeah, this says Indiana, Bama, 24 million.
Yeah.
Miami, Ohio State, and Ole Miss, Georgia, 19 million and 18.7 million.
Yeah, so we should be in the high teens and the 20s.
But those games were weekend games, weren't they? Or holiday games?
Were those holiday games?
I can't remember. They dragged this thing on so long.
I know, it's always wonky. Look, they avoid the NFL for a reason. Everyone avoids the NFL. You just...
Yeah, I got you.
Except for the NBA, I guess they didn't try to avoid the NBA. They just... Or I guess the NBA, adopted Christmas, and then the NFL was like, no, that's ours. Although the NBA games did pretty good on Christmas this year. I think they got 6 or 7.
People watch it.
Yeah, so it was good. It's just... the NBA is like, yay, 6 million, and the NFL is like, here's 30.
6 million?
Yeah.
We'll give you 6 million. We have 36 million.
I think you could have an NFL logo with just like a bird taking a dump on it, and it would do 6 million.
Oh.
Yeah.
You mean wait, what?
If you just played the red zone music and then the NFL shield was on it and then birds just took a dump, I think you'd get 6 million people.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
I think
game. Just birds.
Just the NFL logo and birds taking dumps, and people would be like, wait, the NFL is like, they would stick around waiting to see if the NFL was going to come on.
They should try that.
They should.
If the birds break out in a football game or something.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the
bird goes deep.
At the end or the beginning of the red zone, if you tune in and they just play it just has the red zone logo and they play the music, I think that does 6 million. I think people just sit there and be like, start.
Can't be any
start,
worse.
start.
Can't be any worse than watching the Eagles offense, can it?
No.
Like the countdown to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, the countdown.
You at least have 5 minutes on. I can't miss a minute.
The countdown gets 6 million guaranteed. You criticize the NFL all you want, but that thing is just...
Who criticizes the NFL?
Lots of people do.
Come on.
Yeah. That thing is freaking freight train from hell.
NFL's great.
Yeah.
But we'll watch this stupid college stuff tonight, I guess. You know what I love? So you're a BYU guy.
Mm-hmm.
Our main man, Steven, over there, does not have a major college affiliation.
No, Concordia, not skilled at the art of football.
And I appreciate that you have not just chosen someone. I think that's commendable because some people do.
Yeah.
And it's not authentic,
I choose to hate everybody.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fans that are like, oh well, I didn't go. You didn't go. Like they went to Concordia or whatever, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm a huge Duck fan.
Yeah. Are you? Southern Oregon, Dusty's although his dad played there. But Dusty's a Southern Oregon guy, and he's a Duck through and through. But at least his dad played there. It's something.
But what I was about to say is, as a Kansas fan, anytime there was a big tournament game, I absolutely hate it when our game is the first game. It sucks.
Why so?
Because you want to ease in, you want to not have the pressure yet.
Sure.
It changes once your game starts, but watching the other games first is great. I'm thinking of Duck Fan tonight, where it's fun. You just sit back, you get a nice little teaser of Miami Ole Miss. You don't have to worry about it, but you do want to watch it. That's going to be your opponent if you win. And you ease into the playoff that way, and then that gets you fun. Then you get to go tomorrow. Like, your day is tomorrow.
Sure. I will tell you, along those same lines, I hated when we got the ball. I always wanted our defense out on the field first. I didn't like... It's the same thing. I liked easing even though I wasn't playing, I liked the game starting and getting a feel and then going out and play. I hated having to go out and start the game. I always preferred to be the second game. I always preferred to be the second group on the field.
Yeah.
And someone points out with my bird taking a deuce on the NFL logo, what would happen was people would start gambling on the bird turds.
Well, yeah.
And it would do $6 million.
And it would probably do $30 million then, because now everybody's tuning in to watch their bets.
If we just put a scrolling ticker on the bottom and we had various bets that you could make on which is the bird to turd next, the size of the bird turd, where on the logo it would get, you would do $6 million.
Fantasy bird turds.
Fantasy bird turds. $6 million, no problem.
This is a good idea. Should we start opening it? We should have a book, maybe run by Steven. He's an expert. We should have a book and take bets on our show. We'd get way bigger ratings.
100%.
People are tuning in to see if they win their bets.
The next drop, the next phrase that I'm going to butcher.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%.
Why have we not thought of
How long are we going to go over in the opening segment?
Yes, over under every segment.
Yeah.
The problem is I'm controlling that. Like, I can, I'll get in your ear.
Manipulation.
I'm manipulating it. What I got money on that dinner. Break.
Go!
Come on, Rob, break.
Well, you remember on Polymarket, there was, I'd be interested to know, because I think this stuff, they keep it obviously very close to the vest and secret. Some dude on Polymarket bet $30,000 that we were going to take out the president of Venezuela, like by a certain date, and literally the next day we went in and got him. That dude made like $400,000. Like someone spilled the beans on that to somebody, and they were like, all right, $30,000. Let's do it.
Well, you want to know what happened today? The White House had the briefing today.
Yeah.
They on Polymarket, they had how long the briefing would be.
Oh.
And it was 65 minutes was the over under.
Yeah.
They cut it off right at 64:30. She just took right off. And it was all the favorite money was on over 65 minutes.
Yeah.
So people made a ton of money.
Yeah. Well,
because it went under.
Well, yeah, someone.
And it looked like she kind of glanced at a clock. I'm not even lying. It looked like she kind of glanced, and then she just like, gotta go.
Wow, really?
Gotta go. I'm out. Bye.
You're telling me that if you weren't friends with the secretary, is it Levitt or whatever that was doing it? You tell me you wouldn't be like, hey, just so you know, man, I got like 50 G's riding on this. If you could just
under 65,
if you just go ahead and just keep that at 64.30, that'd be great.
Do we learn something from this that we can use moving forward on those things? Like
if we have
we have to
in the
know,
White House.
You have to know something.
Right.
Or they're always going to go, well, you have to know what's the most bet, but it tells you what's the most bet, right?
I don't know. I've never done Polymarkets.
Yeah, it tells you a percentage.
I believe it tells you the number of
Yeah, dude, but if you're laying big wood, you got to have insider information. You just
especially on stuff like this because you know it's being manipulated.
Yes, 100%.
So they were fading everybody was on the over.
Everyone was on the over 65
and they were
minutes.
like, nope, gonna be the under.
She was in the middle of a sentence, like 64:30, and she's like, okay, gotta go by.
This isn't like the sharps. This is someone I'm sure that gets in her ear and just says, hey, like someone leaked the information that we were going into Venezuela. That caught everyone off guard except for one dude who bet $30,000 that we were going to invade a country and kidnap their president. And he felt
capture, please.
capture.
Thank you.
And he felt so confident about it, he rolled 30 G's on it. I'm sorry, that's not a whim. That's not, well, I feel like the odds. No. That's someone who whispered, just so you know, we're going in and we're going in
Tomorrow's
now.
the day.
Tomorrow's the day. And you're like, thanks. Like if your buddy was like a Navy SEAL and he was like, hey, just so you know, like we found bin Laden. Tomorrow, yeah, we're going. Like this is full go. Back in the day, you're telling me you couldn't jump on Polymarket and bet every dollar you have, yeah, bin Laden dies tomorrow. Been searching for him for like a decade, and you happen to pick the one day that we're going to kill him, and then it happens? Yeah, there's money to be made.
But none of that's regulated.
No, it's all Thunderdome.
What poly market are you closest to? Like, do you have... Because we don't have any inns at the White House.
No, I
used to, of course.
I will tell
Thanks
you...
a lot, Obama.
I will tell you this. I didn't necessarily know I could exploit it, but when Chauncey was arrested, that day I talked to one of the guys that was there in the FBI. I didn't realize that how close he was to it. I think I could get FBI. Like if we had someone in Portland that was going to get arrested by the FBI, I think I could get us the inside scoop. Although he's really honest, and I don't know if he would spill the beans, but had I been aware of it, I could have done the, hey, just so you know, Chauncey Billups is getting arrested tomorrow. What were the odds of that? No one saw
Well, that wouldn't be on there, though.
But could you have gotten...
But you can create it.
But let's say Sataki would have left at Penn State. Could you have gotten inside info of who Penn
Yes.
State or BYU would have hired?
Yes. I have friends on that staff. I could have... Yeah.
Like that.
Why are you
That's
not
where we
on-
manipulate it, Rob.
What are you doing? You're costing yourself money. Why are you not on Kalshi?
Because the thing is Sataki was the favorite to get the Penn State job. You could have bet against that.
Yes.
I made a
Yes.
ton.
But then here's the thing is like you have
Or
to
at least tell us.
You have to be really
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I have teammates of mine, including him, that are on that staff. I don't know if they would. How much would they really tell me if I called them? It's like, because I'd have to tell them why. Hey, dude, I really need to know this. Like my mortgage is like, would they? I kind of want to find out now. I kind of feel like I want to send a text and be like, hey, just, hypothetically, if I were to bet a large sum of money, would you leave me out to dry or would you give me some inside information? But yeah, if you're willing to go down those roads, there's money to be made.
So on Kalshi, they have sports, politics, economics, culture, tech and science. And under that is AI, space, and energy.
Yeah. You can bet on anything, right?
Climate.
You can bet on the weather.
Yeah.
They have climate, snow and rain, daily temps, climate change, natural disasters, and hurricanes. They have crypto, companies, financials, transportation, and then mentions.
Yeah.
I saw they changed it so you could do like almost live bets where you can bet on it within the next 10 minutes. Will Bitcoin go up or down?
Yeah. I mean, it's no different than like the people in Congress that are the greatest stock traders of all time. Every one of those people goes into Congress worth no money, and then like 10 years later they leave and they're worth $40 million. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Nancy Pelosi, and who was the Wisconsin guy that just retired? Handsome fella. Was it Scott something or other? Every one of those people, while making 170 grand a year, somehow made like $20 million. Oh.
Here's one for Miami Ole Miss on Kalshi.
Uh-huh.
What will the announcers say during the game?
Oh, gosh.
No good, wild, what a catch,
Yeah.
turf, windy, wind, Super Bowl, late hit, schedule, Heisman. You can bet on tush, push, draft, State Farm,
So how
Lane Kiffin.
how easy is it to simply, if you know someone that's on that broadcast, look, if I was doing that game and Rob called me and was like, hey, dude, can you work in a wild or whatever?
Yeah, see, I think there's
I'd be
our
like,
closest.
I got you, man.
I think that's our closest poly market, right?
Can we get
there.
a hold of Demers?
The media market. They say you can bet on if they say the word freshman in the game. You can bet on that.
Just once?
Well, what do you mean? Yeah, they just
don't have to say it one
Yes,
time.
they don't say it one time.
How's that not hit?
Well, because you have to pay. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
97%.
yeah.
So
Okay,
you got to
yeah.
pay. Here, let me put in. So let's say we
You
bet
bet like $100, you'd win like $1.
Yeah,
to
something
bet
like that.
10,000 on that. I
Yeah.
would win $96.
Yeah, so it's not. Yeah, it's just not.
So you're
yeah.
doing it, is what you're saying.
Well, what if they don't say freshman?
Exactly.
Oh, man.
You wouldn't, because what are the? There's no
Yeah.
benefit to you. But here's the thing: if you were to know the broadcasters, could you simply say, under
Right.
no circumstances, you son of a bitch, do you say freshman? And you're like, all right, man, I can
Kirk,
go.
don't you dare say it.
I could go an entire broadcast without saying freshman, no problem. You know, he's call him a rookie or whatever, the youngster,
First year.
first year. Next thing you know, hey, man.
Yeah, so if you bet no, you can only buy. Okay, it won't let me bet that much. See, it'll limit you on the
Yeah,
big
what
payouts.
you can do.
The longest shot on the board of words they will say is late hit. You can bet if they say late hit and you say yes, you bet 1,000, they'll pay you 2,500.
Yeah. So they,
So
yeah.
1,500.
1,500.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't, this is just a wild world
Not
that
a
we're
bad
living
bet there.
in.
It's not a bad bet, is it?
If all of a sudden we're all gone, it's because we made money off these announcers.
Call sheet.
We got
the
to hold it to
polymark.
Murs, and he's starting
Yeah.
saying everything we want him to.
It just,
Well,
yeah,
we need the Blazers in the playoffs because they're not going to have it for just a regular Blazers game.
our streaking
Hey,
Portland Trailblazers.
Did they win last night?
They did.
they did.
They did.
They did. On a reviewed
Tippin.
tip-in, no countsies.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I may have been at the bar.
Would it have counted?
Down underneath?
Or should it have counted?
No, it was. I mean, it was like a fraction of a second.
Like literally on the edge of the
Yeah,
fingertip.
it was a
with 0
yeah.
seconds.
I forget who it was for Houston.
Tari Eason
Yeah,
went up and
Eason.
tipped it in.
Yeah, he tipped it in. It goes in. Houston bench goes crazy. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, they lost on that." They reviewed it, and I mean, it is as close as humanly possible because he didn't shoot it. It's a tip in, and it is just barely on his fingertips. And what was weird is being at the game, like we're all kind of sitting there watching it, and then next thing you know, they said no go, and then they released the streamers, and they're like, they win. It was very strange, but it's a big
So
win.
did people know they won
Yeah,
when
I
they
mean,
released the streamers?
yes.
Okay.
Well, and they came out and they said no, the game's over and Blazers win, and then the stream. It was a very strange vibe inside, but yeah, they won. Denny had 41.
Yeah, it would be a very Portland thing to drop the streamers after a loss, though.
Yeah, it gets reviewed again, and they're
Right.
like, pay no attention to the streamers, clean those up.
It actually counts.
It actually counts.
Someone on the text line has 20,000 that you get arrested tomorrow based off of this conversation, and that's not a bad little play. Not a bad little play. All right, well, let's get started. We do only have an hour and 13 minutes until Ole Miss Miami.
And now we're going to be distracted at that point.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it, focused style.
Get to going.
Coming up next on the Fan.
The Oregon Ducks are in the college football playoff.
Back to throw. Has time. Step throws. His arm was hit. Ball came down. Mateo with the steal. Mateo at the 5. Ball comes out. He gets it back. It's Oregon's ball.
Tough tests lie ahead.
They've earned this opportunity, right? I told them to go get their pound of flesh today. They did that today.
Follow the Ducks through the playoff on your home for the University of Oregon, the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM. The Fan.
Now, here's a quick look at Portland traffic.
Southbound I-5 stacking up behind a crash at Skidmore. It's bumper to bumper from Rosa Parks, and northbound I-5 slow approaching the Interstate Bridge. I'm Kim Vestal with traffic.
This traffic report brought to you by Guardian Roofing.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof checked. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian, we help it last as long as possible. That's why every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Most divorce ads talk about fighting your spouse, winning, losing. But what if you didn't have to fight at all? At Luskin Law, our one-day divorce mediation helps couples separate conveniently and confidentially without the courtroom or the chaos of a long, drawn-out battle. It's not about sides, it's about solutions. And with the right process, nobody has to lose. Visit LuskinLaw.com for more information. Luskin Law's one-day divorce mediation. Peace treaties, not war plans.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your
All right, the first college football playoff semifinals coming up tonight at 4:30. It's over on 910, but you should listen to us listen to it.
Yes.
Or, I mean, listen to us watch it.
Which is always riveting radio. Trust me, if something happens, we'll let you know.
Yeah, you'll hear it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
So they're playing this one in the Fiesta Bowl. And it is Ole Miss in Miami.
Yeah. Dude, we got some good storylines. I mean,
oh, great game.
Indiana, I've said all along, this would be the greatest story in college sports history if Indiana finishes this thing off. You could also make the case especially in this world we live in and all the turmoil and we hate the transfer portal and everyone's yelling about college football and coaches, for Ole Miss to finish this thing off as well and they were to win it, that's pretty good.
Do you have two of the best college football stories ever
yes.
in the same Final Four?
Yes. If Ole Miss and Indiana play each other, and I don't think that's going to happen, but if they did, the winner of that, dude, just put the crown on for best college story in modern history. Now, if Miami or Oregon wins it, it's just a good team with a lot of talent that wins it, and it's cool because then for Miami, you're back in the U and all that, and then for Oregon, it's your first one. So there's great storylines either way. But if you take your fandom out of it, it's not even close. Indiana and Ole Miss are the darlings. If you don't have a rooting interest, you're going for one of them.
Dare we say Oregon's the worst story of the four? It's just kind of Oregon.
Yeah, it's just kind of Oregon. Yeah.
Miami's pretty interesting because it's the U.
It's the
and
U.
the history.
Whereas Oregon would just be, you've had a 30-year build, you've come close a couple times, but you're already viewed as one of the big dogs, and the last thing you have is to finish this thing off. And if you do win, it's going to be like, all right, well.
Well, wouldn't the story be if they win it, it's for Phil Knight? Like he finally got one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, Phil Knight, the program, it'll just be the culmination, like I said, of a 3-decade long climb. Because the only thing Oregon doesn't have at this point, right? You're some of the best facilities in the country. We know the uniforms, right? You have Heisman trophies. I think you've won most of the major awards. You've won an Outland Trophy. I think you've won a Doak Walker. I don't think you've won a Blitnikoff, but you've won most of the major awards. You've had a Coach of the Year, right? Like you're certainly a big draw. The last thing you have is the national championship, and that's it. So, yeah, it's just a cherry on top. Whereas the other two are like, oh my God, and then Miami, it would be Michael Irvin beating some water cooler and dying on the field of a coke overdose. And then,
do we have a Michael Irvin camera tonight?
I would assume so.
Michael Irvin Polymarket?
I want to.
There you go.
There should be one.
I guarantee there is.
He's going to get on all fours at some point.
I have never in my life seen a fan, an ex-player, just an affiliate of a program act the way a 60-year-old Michael.
59?
59.
He's about to turn 60.
I have never seen anything quite like it, and I am equally terrified, fascinated, intrigued, kind of turned on by everything that guy does. It is just...
Yeah, he's obnoxious and embarrassing, but also kind of great.
If you did a little, like you said, an Irvin cam, like in the corner, like the size of like a little paper card, like a playing card, if you just did one down in the corner of the screen, or maybe up, like where the square bug is, so we don't have to like interfere with the game, and you just showed Michael Irvin the entire time, I think I would be more inclined to watch. I would find myself watching Michael Irvin watch the game more so than the game itself.
So high tea. I have a Michael Irvin tidbit.
Do you?
Well, did you know that? So I had to Google this because I was asking the question. I'm like, why is he always like? I get it that he's an alum.
Yeah.
But you can't just do whatever you want.
Oh, I think you can when you're Michael Irvin.
So I was Googling that. I'm like, why is Michael Irvin so up in their business?
Yeah.
I mean, do they just let him because he's Michael Irvin and he's so high tea that nobody wants to confront him?
Well, and he played with Cristobal.
Well, that's what I didn't know that.
Oh.
And so I Googled and I found out that, yeah, they're very close. And Cristobal invites him to the games. He likes his energy. And shocking. And they have a big high tee off before the game. You know, who knows what that looks like.
Oh, God.
But they do it behind closed doors. But Irvin...
They like touch tips or something.
He was... Well, whatever high tee people do to prove who's, who's tougher in that moment. Irvin was a host for Cristobal when Cristobal was recruited. This was like 40 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Because Cristobal won titles as an offensive lineman under Jimmy Johnson.
Yes.
And, of course, Michael Irvin was there. Irvin hosted Cristobal on his recruiting visits, which I can only imagine what happened on those. And they are to this day friends, and that's why Michael Irvin is always basically doing whatever he wants on the Miami sideline.
It's just, yeah, you would think most people, like I get, like if you're a Hall of Famer, you can come down on the sidelines of your team's game.
But you have to, you have to get the pass.
You got to get the pass and all that.
And they're not always there.
And I'm willing to guess, this is just a shot in the dark, that if Marcus came down and wanted to be on the sideline for the Duck game, Lanning obviously would be about it. But if he started getting on all fours and barking and being Michael Irvin, someone at Oregon, I'm guessing, would probably get a hold of Marcus and be like, hey, man, we love having you here, but we're going to need you to just a notch or two. You're at 11 right now, and we need you at like a 9.
He's got a dog mentality.
And I think with Michael, they just know it's not going down. It's at 11, and it's going to stay at 11. And it's just that he's allowed to do it.
What if like Herbert and Mariota, they're all soft-spoken, like real nice guys.
Just start belting
what if
the
they
water.
just start going high T? You just put them all in one area, and they just start going high T over there like Irvin. That's what you need. That's what the Ducks need to get over the top, right?
Someone humping the ground. That's what we need.
He does that.
He sexes the ground.
God.
It's unbelievable.
Well, anyway.
I will say that for like a 59-year-old man, he's in incredible shape.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Again, like I said, there's something oddly fun about him, but it's
terrifying.
This
is also a man that I would like to point out that over a haircut, Michael Irvin tried to kill a teammate by stabbing him in the neck with a pair of scissors. And maybe that's what this is. Do you want to tell the guy who almost killed a man over a haircut that he's not allowed to make sex with the 30-yard line? I'm not certain I want to have that conversation. And maybe that's Mario. He's like, you know what? I think someone's like, hey, Mario, he's humping the 30. And Mario's like, just let it be, man.
At least he's not trying to stab anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is he stabbing anyone? No. I think he's on a bunch of blow. Does he have cocaine with him? Not that we know. Hey, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, we got him right where we want.
Yeah,
where we need him.
It's right in that sweet spot.
All right, well, let's talk about the game. There is a game that's going to be played.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that when we get back. But first, Stephen with Sports Center.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the CFP semifinals start tonight. Miami takes on Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl from Glendale. Miami, they are now a 3-point favorite as we head into the game. Winner takes on the winner of the Peach Bowl, which is tomorrow between the Oregon Ducks and the Indiana Hoosiers. We're going to have all the Ducks coverage you need on the Fan tomorrow, leading up to the game, which we will have live as well. The Miami Dolphins are making a change at head coach. They are firing their coach, Mike McDaniel, after 4 seasons. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross met with McDaniel on Tuesday to discuss the season, and after that meeting, he said, I'm ready to move on from you. Now, the Dolphins will conduct a head coaching search after they hire a general manager, which they're hoping to get by Friday. Travis Kelce says he believes he will return for a 14th NFL season as long as his body can take it. Kelce's an upcoming free agent. He told his brother on the New Heights podcast that he's looking forward to being a regular human over the next month as he mulls over his next step, but says playing the 14th season not out of the question. The Trailblazers win again last night, taking out the Rockets 103-102. Tari Eason tipping just a second late as the Blazers win their 4th in a row. Denny Avdia, 41 points for the reigning Western Conference Player of the Week. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The home of Ducks Game Day.
All right, a couple things about the Duck game. Of course, it'll be on the Fan tomorrow, so we won't have a show. But Joey Harrington is going to join us today to talk about Oregon, Indiana. That will be at 5:30 this afternoon. And we also want to remind you that we are having a Peach Bowl watch party with Dirt, Anthony Newman, and the whole gang. They will be out at Thirsty Lion Washington Square with their pregame coverage presented by Coors Light beginning at noon tomorrow. So you should do some day drinking.
There you go.
And get nice and toasty
I love day drinking.
For the game. So back to Miami Ole Miss. Interesting matchup, isn't it? Because Miami, their defense, they have 46 sacks, which is the most in the country.
Yeah.
And their opponents so far in these two playoff games, their opponents have rushed 59 times for 134 yards.
Yeah, we talked about the Texas Tech defensive front, and we're not talking enough about the Miami front. And I think in the playoff games that they've had, they have like 60-plus pressures, and I want to say it's like 15 sacks. I mean, they've been lights out, and their secondary is better than Texas Tech's. So you can make the debate who's got the better front. The Miami linebackers are really good. I don't know if they're as good as the Texas Tech linebackers. You could say the Texas Tech defensive ends are better, but the entire defensive line as a whole, because the defensive tackles from Miami are better than Texas Tech's. Either way, this is a nasty front. And, whoever they play, this is going to be one of those challenges. If you are going to beat Miami, you have to find a way to beat the front. And these last couple weeks, no one has. And as they found, I think, more of an offensive identity too, and that is don't let Carson Beck screw this up and run the ball and be physical. I think Miami, you're starting to see the Miami team that we thought early in the season looked like one of the best teams in the country. And then we kind of forgot about them. And this team almost didn't make it in.
They barely got in.
Yeah.
But they were good enough. And so was Notre Dame,
Yes.
to be honest. There's just not enough room.
Yeah.
But if they win, I just think Bain and Messidor and those guys,
that's why.
Those guys will seal it, not Beck in the offense. So that's why this game is interesting, because it's either that or it's Ole Miss's offense, because Ole Miss defense isn't great.
No.
But Ole Miss's offense, they scored 34 on Oklahoma's defense,
Yep.
which is a great defense.
Yep.
And they scored 34 and 39 on Georgia's defense.
And Georgia's front seven's really good.
And both of those defenses are top 15.
Yeah.
Miami's defense is number 10.
Yeah.
So what gives the I mean, usually you bet on defense in a situation like that, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Chambliss can scramble. He can avoid pressure. They go up tempo. It's a styles make fights game.
Well, in Miami,
that I think helps Mississippi in the styles, in the way that they play. I think they match up better with Miami than you would traditionally think.
And Miami, a lot like it's funny in this world now. We see, I think there's a lot of similarities with Oregon and Texas Tech and Miami and Ole Miss here. They don't sub. There's a lot of these teams now that don't really sub. Indiana doesn't sub a bunch. Miami doesn't sub a bunch. Texas Tech doesn't sub a bunch. So if you are going to say, all right, what could be Miami's kryptonite? You mentioned tempo, a lot of plays. Can you wear out Miami? The other one too is a quarterback that can be elusive and make you chase him, and you can play sideline to sideline, tire those guys out. Now that's what Oregon tried to do against Texas Tech. Didn't work.
Well, Marcel Reed couldn't do it.
Yes.
And that guy can move around.
He's
the Texas A&M quarterback.
Yes.
That's a team that averaged 36 points a game.
Yeah.
And they scored 3 on their home field against Miami. So it's like maybe these guys are just so nasty on defense that's what will carry them. I just worry if Miami, for whatever reason, falls behind. I don't know how they catch up. Like their offense, man.
It's not great. Carson Beck he's a game manager. They do have some guys on the outside. Obviously, Malachi Toney's one of the best receivers in the country. But make no mistake about it, this kind of resurgence of Miami has been behind a really good offensive line with multiple NFL guys on it, and Fletcher, their big back. And that's what Miami wants to do. Miami has built a bully, and in typical Mario Cristobal fashion, he wants to punch you in the mouth. And here's the thing. This is why I think Miami is going to win this game. Ohio State has the best defense in the country. It may not have the flashy names that some of these guys have, but I'm telling you, top to bottom, front to back, Ohio State's defense has more NFL dudes on it than anybody. I mean, it is a stout unit. And when push came to shove, what was Miami able to do? They were able to punch Ohio State in the face and run the ball on them. And I don't see how an Ole Miss defense when you watch Ole Miss play, and I'm not here to crap on anyone, the Ole Miss linebackers, they ain't good. It's a bad group. They don't get off blocks. It's just not it's not a solid group. And I have a hard time believing that they are going to be able to hold up to the ground and pound game of Miami. And if they do want to sell out, I don't love Carson Beck, but there's some speed and athleticism on the outside. I just think that's the difference in this game. Even if Trinidad Chambliss can have a big game, I'm just not convinced that the Ole Miss defense is going to be able to do what they need to do against a Miami offense that seems to be willing now to just lean into the Cristobal thing and be like, hey, we're just going to run the ball on you 50 times, hold up, and I don't think that's possible.
That running back, an NFL guy?
Yeah.
He looks awfully good.
And he gets better as he goes. Mark Fletcher.
Fletcher, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like
you're
right.
He's a big boy.
We forgot about Miami, and then you see him in the playoff, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
whoa.
Yep.
They're nasty. If they screw it up, will it be Beck or Cristobal? There's your poly market of the day. Right there.
That's so good.
It's even money, dude.
I know. And that's why
I bet you Beck makes a big mistake.
The other one too, Carson Beck against Ohio State, like he ran the ball a little bit too. Remember he had that backbreaking first down where he ran the ball and kind of put his shoulder down. I think the other one, they have gotten into his head, I think, at the end of this year and have told him, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Nothing dumb.
They've NFL'd him.
One read, two read, and if it's not there, freaking run or throw the ball into the third row.
One of their losses, I forget who they lost to.
Louisville.
Was it the Louisville game?
Yeah.
And they lost to somebody else.
They lost to SMU.
Yeah, it was the Louisville game.
Yeah.
I remember watching that going, they should have won the game. They were much better than Louisville.
Yeah.
But Carson Beck continued to turn it over.
Yeah, they lost by like 3 in that game. I think he threw 4 picks.
I think he threw 4.
Yeah.
Well, to that point, Ole Miss runs the 11th most plays in the nation, 74 a game. Like, they want to speed it up. And so you're right. If Ole Miss gets up, does Miami have the horses? Or are they going to put it on Carson Beck back and say, make a throw downfield? Yeah. Or are they going to continue to try to run with Fletcher, just methodically eat at it? Or is that where Cristobal messes up? Like, I kind of like Ole Miss because of this. I do think Ole Miss, with that speed and the fact that you said this, Suk, Miami doesn't sub that much, kind of a recipe to get up early and put the pressure on Carson Beck. And if that's the case, I'll take Ole Miss all day.
Well, and, you get in the first quarter, Chambliss makes a play or two. Yeah. Like, he is that X Factor guy.
Yep.
Get up 10-0. That's the question.
Yep.
Then you've got Beck needing to make some plays, and that's what Ole Miss wants.
Yeah.
That's how they win the game. Yeah. And special team. Did you know that Ole Miss has the #1 special teams in the country?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Their special teams, I guess, are a work of art. I haven't watched them enough to know, but
well, how much does the coaching staff stuff matter with Ole Miss? I mean, this is the 3rd week that they've kind of been uncertain. How does that matter going forward?
Look, it is wonky, but the fact that they have their play caller, I think the stuff about running backs coach and tight end, like some of that stuff's overblown. At this point in the season, you know what you're doing, okay? If I'm the center, I'm not an idiot. If I'm the left tackle, I understand what we've been doing all year, and if my running backs coach isn't there as a running back, yeah, I know that I still have to pick up this guy in protection.
Well, how do you know their center's not an idiot?
Most of the time, those guys, most of those times, they're not idiots. So as long as Charlie Weiss Jr. is there, and
BYU one was.
Yeah, guy. So as long as the offensive coordinator is there and is focused, it mitigates it. Look, it's not ideal. But at this point, I do think that as long as he's there and it seems like he's going to be there, it's not the advantage or it's not the distraction that I think everyone is trying to make it out to be. At this point, Ole Miss can smell it, they can taste it, and I don't think anyone is going to lose any sleep over this is what's happening.
Well, we've already seen a game with, I mean, they beat Georgia.
They won 2. Yeah, so that's it would have showed up against Georgia.
Well, the Tulane game is,
that doesn't count.
Yeah, but Georgia, it's
right.
like, I think there's the answer to your question. Yeah. They beat Georgia with this coaching situation. I don't know how it's a huge problem.
Yeah.
I don't know how you beat Georgia if it's a huge problem.
If Weiss is not allowed to coach, holy hell, you're in trouble because they just don't.
But he's there.
He's there.
Yeah,
he's there. So as long as he's there, I think we're going. Well, I'm not.
Is he a big fella like his daddy?
No,
I
don't think so. From what I've seen, I do not recall him being.
Well, his dad was large and in charge. Man.
Yeah, that's well, and it got worse.
Well, yeah.
He's a real little dude, it looks like.
Is he?
Yeah, he's not a.
Oh, good.
I was like trying to remember, and he doesn't. Yeah, he's not a big guy.
Name the Ole Miss head coach. Go.
Pete Golding.
Nice. I was reading up on him today because nobody knows him.
Yeah.
But he is going to be their permanent coach.
Yes.
He's not just interim.
Yeah.
And he played at Delta State.
I did not. I didn't. I don't know where Delta State. I was gonna say I don't know Delta State. I didn't. I don't. None of that. Where the hell is Delta State?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Yeah.
That is in Cleveland, Mississippi. He's a Mississippi boy.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and he most recently was at he was a DC and under Saban at Alabama.
Okay. Well, and I mean at this point, again, this is why I was laughing at the Lanning thing a little bit when people were like, "Oh, he's focused." Everyone's focused. The Ole Miss players are focused. Ole Miss isn't going to be like, "Well, I mean, we don't have our coach, and maybe I'm going to go play at like." Everyone's going to be dialed into this game. Everyone's going to be dialed in. It's not ideal that Will Stein and Tosh Lapoy are head coaches at somewhere else. It's not ideal that your offensive coordinator is flying back and forth. But at this point, it is what it is. Players are used to it, and here you go. Do I think it's an advantage that everyone at Miami doesn't have to worry about this? Absolutely. Is it the reason why you're going to win this game? Probably not. But if it's a close game and it comes down to a field goal or something like that, then yeah, I think you point to the margins in there, and you're like, maybe someone's eye was off the ball. I would be more intrigued about does Chambliss, he's a guy that everything about them is tempo. But when he holds on to the ball, like he can be a dynamic guy back there extending plays, and he's actually really good at throwing the ball downfield. So if you're Ole Miss, do you want to run the risk of having him hold on to the ball knowing that pass rush is descending upon you? Like, he is a guy that has no problem extending plays. Problem is that if you extend plays against this front and you get negative plays, and now we're behind the chains, and now it's 3rd and 6, third and long every time. Now these guys pin their ears back and start hunting. So how much of that's the chess game I want to see is early on, how many times did they let Chambliss take a 5-step drop and move around in the pocket? Or is it, hey, 1-step, 2-step, get the ball out of our hand, try to tire them out, and no negative plays? Do they go a little more conservative early on, or do they come out and turn the kid loose and say, hey, go be the best player on the field, and if we're gonna win or lose, we're doing it with the ball in your hands every single time, and you need to be the best player on the field?
Good little matchup.
I think it's a great matchup.
Good little matchup.
And I don't mind seeing defenses that are strangling.
Oh, me neither.
I think it's kind of fun. That Oregon Texas Tech game, while there wasn't a lot going on, I don't mind watching defenses that are just hunting.
Yeah.
I think that's fun. And Miami, watching Miami play against Ohio State, there's a little beam here. I'm like, oh damn. Like those Miami the other one, as physical as Miami secondary is, like that's old school football. They were hitting kids for Ohio State where they didn't want to get up. There was a couple of plays where Carnell Tate, who's a big-time receiver, was short-arming balls because he didn't want to get hit over the middle. And that's not something you see a lot in today's football world. And Miami's got secondary guys that are going to come up and put a helmet in your sternum.
Yeah, old Ryan Day remembered he was Ryan Day, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
About that.
Yep.
All right, well, it gets underway at 4:30. In the meantime, we will move on to our wild card wontons. Coming up next on The Fan.
You can sleep when you
This
die.
is the Playoff Report.
Playoffs?
Everything you need to know about playoff football. Brought to you by Tullamore Dew. When it's tailgate time, it's Tully time.
Pre-game, I obviously don't listen to hype songs because I got to stay calm, cool, and collected. I actually meditate before the game. I meditate, I pray, and I think praying is, in a way, meditation to help myself be in my thoughts and being able to execute the plan as quarterback's such a cerebral position.
What are we doing?
Well, what do you want?
Fernando Mendoza was probably $1 million for Indiana. You could get 4 Mendozas for 1 Beck. And yet, what did we just say with Miami? Miami can win if Carson Beck doesn't do Carson Beck things. It's crazy.
Yeah, but Carson Beck can be good.
He can be.
And you'd rather have him than, like, I'm trying to think of. Well, you'd rather have him than the Texas Tech quarterback.
Yeah, well, that's
why you pay.
He's terrible.
Well, Texas Tech got Sorsby,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's why you pay the quarterback. Even Sorsby's not any good. You watched him play, but he's better than Morton.
I used to say all the time that the best job in sports is the backup quarterback in the NFL because you don't have to be any good and they just give you a bunch of money. It might just be now a college quarterback. Damon Williams, who is now, whatever happens here between UW and LSU, that guy's going to make somewhere between $5 and $6 million this year. We'll see what happens with lawsuits. In any meaningful game, and I really liked him going into the season, and I thought he was actually quite a bit of a disappointment. And in their biggest games, like their losses, I think he had 2 touchdowns and like 8 picks. Like he was god awful when it mattered. And yet, based on, I think he can be pretty good, someone was like, would you like $6 million? And he was like, yeah. That's the world we're living in. And we learned nothing this year off of the Klubniks and the
Klubnik was bad this year.
It's terrible. Nussmeier was awful. Arch was bad early. He got better late. But we had all these quarterbacks. Aiden Childs was dog mess at Michigan State. Someone gave him a bunch of money at Northwestern now. It's like we can't help ourselves in the world of college football. We're like, someone said you're going to be good. $5 million, take it.
You don't even have to be good. That's the thing.
Yes.
You just have to have one person believe, well, he's better than the guy we got.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's $2 million.
Exactly.
That's just it. That's what I was saying.
He's
like
better
Texas
than
Tech.
the guy we got.
Well, Beck is better than Morton, so you're going to pay Beck. I mean, Peyton Manning's not out there.
And this thing, like they paid all that money to Carson Beck. Carson Beck probably wasn't going to start. He was probably going to get beat out by Gunnar Stockton. Ty Simpson is going to go into the NFL. And one of the reasons I can't believe he didn't go back and transfer, but one of the reasons he's not coming back to Alabama is a lot of people think he's going to lose that job to the freshman. And Ty Simpson's like, well, I'm not going to stick around. I'm going to pull a Darren Thomas and he'll get drafted. But I really am surprised that he didn't go somewhere because Ty Simpson, if Damon Williams and Sorsby are getting $5 to $6 million, I'm guessing Ty Simpson probably could have gotten 7 somewhere. And gotten another year and then tried the NFL. But, it's a weak quarterback class. So if you think you're going to be able to go in there and be a top 10 pick, that's like $55 million guaranteed. So I get it. I'm just a little surprised that he didn't seek money elsewhere.
Okay, now we're going to get back to the NFL playoffs, a real sport.
Oh, yeah. Playoffs.
We got the Wontons. I got a lot of, this is the first NFL playoffs to not feature Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, or Desmond Ritter since 2008.
Did you just throw in Desmond Ritter?
Yeah.
Okay. Hot Desmond.
That's what makes the fact work.
Yeah.
So no Tom Brady, no Lamar, no Pat Mahomes, or Desmond Ritter. First time since 2008.
What a weird.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Well, there definitely is a changing of the guard.
Of those tent poles.
Well, and one of these quarterbacks has the opportunity here without those guys now. One of them has a chance to really kind of cement themselves. Because if Stafford does it, whatever. But, Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, Josh Allen, why can't I think of Jacksonville? Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Drake May.
Trevi.
Yeah, like one of these guys has a chance to really
somebody will
plant their flag and arrive on the stage and go from, oh yeah, we like him, to no, this is elite status here. Or we end up with a Bo Nix or a Sam Darnold that kind of pulls a Jalen Hurts where we win and then we talk about him and then next year we're all like, is he really that good? And everyone's like, well, no, not really, but he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, good luck picking who that's going to be though.
I couldn't even begin to tell you.
Any of these guys.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get to the NFL playoffs. Sook's going to give us his Super Bowl pick next on The Fan. What's up?
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan, CFP semifinals start tonight. Miami takes on Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl from Glendale. Miami a 3-point favorite over the Rebels. Winner will take on the winner of the Peach Bowl between Oregon and Indiana. We'll have all the Ducks coverage you need on the Fan tomorrow leading up to the game, including the game at 4:30. Dolphins making a move at head coach as they fire Mike McDaniel after 4 seasons. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross met with McDaniel on Tuesday to discuss the season, and after that meeting and reflection, he decided to move on. Dolphins will conduct a head coaching search after they hire out general manager. McDaniel, he had a 4-17 record against teams with a record above 500. Travis Kelce says he will return for a 14th season as long as his body can take it. He'll be an upcoming free agent this offseason, and he told his brother Jason on the New Heights podcast that he looks forward to being a regular human over the next months as he mulls over his next step. And the Trailblazers win again, taking out the Rockets 103-102 last night. Denny Avdia, the reigning Western Conference Player of the Week, 41 points. That's a Blazer high for him. Trailblazers win their 4th straight game in a row. They'll take on the Rockets again on Friday from the Motor Center. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The home of the Fan Happy Hour.
All right, welcome back. Hour 2, we covered Miami, Ole Miss, and mostly Michael Irvin in hour 1. But we'll get back to Oregon, Indiana next hour. Joey Harrington will join us as well, but we're going to turn our attention to some NFL playoff talk here because, we don't have a show tomorrow.
No.
So we have to preview. We have to get your Super Bowl pick, first of all.
Yeah.
Hardest year to pick a Super Bowl ever.
Yeah. Well,
at least that I can remember.
My AFC pick is dead, the Ravens. And then I kind
You
of
should pick him anyway.
Yeah, that would be like when you picked both the Tampa Bay and the Lightning to win the Stanley Cup.
You got to be bold.
You do have to be bold. My 2 NFC picks are still alive because I had the Rams if Stafford played 13 games, and if not, it was the Packers. I don't have faith in either one of those, but at least the Rams and the Packers are still kicking.
Yeah. Does the bracket, how it laid out change anything for you? Because, I would have said...
Well, everything gets reseeded after this, so...
Well, I know, but I just mean, some teams, most of the teams still have to play this weekend.
Yes.
I would have said the Bills were interesting, but now that they're going to the Jags, I'm like,
It's tough.
I don't know that they are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean...
Texans, I think they got a pretty good... They have to go on the road.
I think that's
that's a winnable
I think
game.
it's a great matchup for the Texans, to be honest with you. I think they are going to absolutely snuff out the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then...
And the Niners are... I don't... I mean, I could be totally wrong here, but I feel like the Niners are hosed. I feel like they're too shorthanded to go into Philly and win.
I would think so, but they've already beaten Philly and they've shown.
But I'm saying if they were in Chicago,
yes,
you would feel a little better about their chances than going into Philly. So I don't know.
It's a strange world in that even the 2 teams that we have with the buys in Denver and Seattle, no one really believes in them. There's not a single team that anyone has a true belief in, and I cannot recall a single time where that's the case.
That's true.
I can make a case against, and by the way, a stronger case against any team in this field than I can a strong case for any team in the field.
I think the Rams.
I picked the Rams, and I will make a stronger case against the Rams than anyone can make for them.
Make that case. They're pretty good.
They are good.
But yes, I have watched them down the stretch, and it has not been.
There is not a team
great.
in the NFL that manages to F up and lose games that's good.
The Ravens.
That's good. Quite like the
Ravens.
I don't think the Ravens are good. They're not. You're sub 500. You're not good. The Rams, in theory, are the best team in football. And everything from losing games to the Carolina Panthers to gacking away. That game they lost against Philadelphia is one of the worst losses I've ever seen. They were up by 16 points with 6:30 to play in a game against an offense that's not meant to throw the ball in Seattle, and they found a way to lose. Like, it's just, I have zero faith in the Rams. None. Zero. Zip. Zilch.
See, I have, if you were to say, because you're right that it's like, I'm with you. I don't remember a tournament where you can't depend on any team. There's no team that you feel great about.
No.
If I had to pick one, mine would be the Rams. It would be.
I want to say that.
I think they're really good. And I think that
I've seen it too many times this year,
It would be either the Rams or the Eagles. Well, but again, if you have to pick one, it's definitely either LA or Philly for me.
Yeah.
And Philly's offense is just too janky.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go. I'll go Rams. I think the Rams are gonna make the Super Bowl.
Well,
remember,
there is a scenario, by the way, right? Bears beat Packers, Eagles beat Niners, which, by the way, none of those would be upsets, right? Philadelphia.
The Packers are a slight favorite.
Are the Packers a slight favorite?
Yeah, but by like one.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then next week we do get the game that we want, and that's Rams Seahawks.
Yeah, and see, I feel like Rams gonna beat them. I think Rams beat them.
Well, they should beat them the last game.
I don't feel so. They cannot play the Bears or the Eagles.
Yeah.
They would play the Packers if the Packers win. I'm talking about the Seahawks, by the way.
Yes.
If the Seahawks will host the Packers if the Packers win.
Yeah.
If the Packers don't win, they will host the Niners. If the Niners don't win, they will host the Rams. And if the Rams don't win, they'll host the Panthers.
Yes.
It will be one of those four teams.
Yeah. And I think if you're Seattle,
you don't want the Rams.
The only team in that field that you don't want
is the Rams. Exactly.
It's the only one.
But I just feel like the Rams are going to beat Carolina, and they're going to beat Seattle.
Yeah.
The Rams are the most trustworthy of the least trustworthy teams.
Yes. I will say, in the NFC, sports gun to my head, we love the sports gun. Yes.
We all have them.
I will
packing heat right now.
I will take the Rams.
Okay,
And
what about the AFC then? So is this your pick then? Or
this is my pick. Well, I picked the Rams at the beginning.
Yeah, stick with it.
I'm sticking with it.
That's fine.
But I have zero faith in that pick. Zero. But I'll take the Rams. The AFC is way harder for me.
It's more wide open.
It is more wide open because at least with the Rams, again, you can kind of I can be talked into just don't be idiots and beat yourself and you're fine. In the AFC, the Patriots have beaten nobody. The Chargers do not have an offensive line to speak of. I don't have faith in Bo Nix for 3+ quarters every single game. Don't get me started on the Steelers and their whatever the hell offense they play. I kind of want to like the Jags, but I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Okay.
And again, as much as I hate my Rams pick, it is nothing compared to how much I loathe my AFC pick. But somehow that crappy offensive line will hold up just enough.
Chargers!
And the Houston Texans will find a way that their defense will drag that sorry-ass offense into the Super Bowl, and you will get Rams and you will get Texans, and that will be your Super Bowl.
Not a bad pick.
Yes, and the Rams will win the whole stinking thing.
Rams-Texans.
The Rams-Texans.
So the Broncos will get the Chargers if the Chargers win.
Yes.
If they don't win, the Broncos will play the Bills.
Yes.
If they win. If they don't win, the Broncos will play the Texans. So Houston's going to have to win games in Pittsburgh, in Denver, and then either New England or Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But if they get the Bills on the other side, they would get to host that game.
Yeah. It's gonna be a fun run here. Like the one I want to see most in the AFC, I think Bills Jags is gonna be damn fun. Because
kickers. Can I bring up I got a little wonton on the kickers.
Oh, give me the wonton.
Well, Cam Little is awesome.
Yeah.
He's the Jags kicker, and he basically makes it from 100 yards.
Yeah.
You have 3 points. Auto 3. No, he's great. He's a badass. But we forget Buffalo. If you didn't watch Buffalo last week, and I don't blame you, their kicker's hurt.
Yeah.
So they lost Tyler Bass. He's gone. He's long gone. Matt Prater, they brought in. He's hurt. They were going for 2 every time against the Jets because they don't have a kicker.
Yeah.
Right there favors the Jags.
Yes.
Look at the kicker situation.
I think
in a close game.
I think Jacksonville's going to beat Buffalo, and if you would have told me that to start the season, I would have laughed at myself. But I do.
Jacksonville's good, man.
I do think Jacksonville's good.
They're a new Jacksonville.
I think it's a better Jacksonville, and
it's different.
It's different. Some of that, though, I think their defense.
Oh, whoa!
What?
I got a little breaking news.
Oh, what do we got?
This is breaking news.
I just want to. Sorry to interrupt you, but they just flashed up. So they got Pete Thamel out there doing his bits.
Yeah,
I think that's who that is. Damon Williams Jr. leaning toward return to Washington. Oh boy. Yeah, lawyers.
Yeah,
baby, lawyers.
Well, okay, first off, 2 things here.
Yeah.
Real quick. They cannot force him to play for Washington. I want this abundantly clear. Damon Williams can go play at LSU. The problem is, 1, he may have to pay UW a bunch of money. The other one is, if they control his NIL rights and his revenue share rights, there may not be a path for LSU to pay him. Now, I heard a lot of people saying, well, the SEC has always paid people under the table. Yes. When you're giving a kid $200,000, Cam Newton, I think it was actually $250,000, you can hide that. You can do it through the dad's church. When you're trying to give a kid $6 million, the IRS will pay attention to that. You cannot illegally funnel $6 million to a kid. So if someone has gotten to Damon Williams and was like, hey, dumbass, just so you know, you aren't getting paid at LSU. Also, his agent fired him today.
Yeah.
The guy that is advising him is this not his agent. The guy that supposedly convinced Damon Williams to leave is the same dillweed that convinced Nico the Tennessee kid.
Iamaleava.
He's the same guy that convinced Nico
doing great
to play hostage with Tennessee and UCLA. And by the way, I'd like to point out that ended up costing him several millions of dollars. So Damon Williams has the worst representation in the country. His agent said, we're not doing this. You're out of here. Thanks for coming. And he may now be realizing, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to get paid at LSU. I may have to play down there for nothing. Now becomes the bigger question. If this is true and they realize, oh crap, we're screwed, I can go play at LSU for free, or I can go back to Washington. Now becomes the bigger question. Does Washington take him back, or does Washington go bitter X and say, you know what? Here's the middle finger.
Well, it would be awkward.
Good luck playing at LSU for free, and we're going to take the $5 million that we were going to give you, and we'll go find somewhere else.
Well, you know who they're visiting with today?
Huh?
Did you read that?
I did not.
Bo Prabula is up there.
Oh.
And he's pretty good.
Yes.
He's from Missouri.
And he's a more experienced quarterback than Damon Williams. This would be the ultimate FU to Damon Williams. Because, by the way, whether he goes to LSU or somewhere else, that is the working theory, is that the UW could make it very hard for him to get paid. Damon Williams may play somewhere else for next year for just his scholarship and whatever someone can funnel him under the table, and UW could keep him from making any money. And it would be...
Yeah. Well, it'd be weird to take him back at this point.
It would be weird.
I mean, come on.
But to be fair, I don't know what his coaches think of him, and I don't know what his teammates think of him. So it would be weird for fans, yes. But inside that locker room, I don't know if he's popular. I don't know what the coaches, any of that stuff. Because in the NFL, you see this with like holdouts and stuff. No one really gets mad because everyone's like, hey, man, get your bag. You deal with your stuff. College, I don't know. It's a new territory. I think if you're UW, you need to go sit down with, if you're Jed Fish, you need to take a poll from your teammates and simply ask, can he help us win? And do we want him back?
We do know that Jed Fish's wife wasn't happy with his decision.
Kick on the
So,
Misfire. Jed Fish's wife, what?
was not happy with Damon Williams' decision.
Yeah.
to
Well, I don't
leave
think
during the
anyone.
funeral.
No one
sounded
was.
like it sounded like no one was.
Yeah.
So interesting little tidbit there.
I just
Okay.
think it would be hilarious to make him play
Yeah.
for a that's it, just
Well-
scholarship. And then the year after that, he could go and get paid again, but you're not making up that $5 million.
It's certainly starting to realize or it's starting to seem like he realizes he has
Yeah.
stepped in it here.
Yeah. Oops.
Okay, let's get back to our NFL talk. We were talking Jags football.
Yeah.
We have hot Jags talk.
Yeah.
And I have another wonton on the Jags.
Yeah. Is it about the turnovers?
No.
Oh.
What do you mean?
They just
Well, they're not the. You know who has the best turnover margin in the field?
Who's that?
Ooh.
Well, would come back with
I
a
think it's
wonton?
Chicago. I think.
Well, and Chicago's defense isn't very good. And this is kind of my point. Jacksonville's defense kind of lives off of turnovers, and it's at an alarming rate. And I'm always scared. The same thing with Chicago. Like, is that going to continue to eventually, like, when you hit those weird imbalances, they normally come back to the middle. And if that's Jacksonville's D, that could be a kryptonite.
All right, back to the NFL playoffs when we return here on The Fan.
That's 50% stupid.
All right, we were talking about the Jags. By the way, in the news is next. We have some late-breaking shooting news in Portland. And yes, it involves ice.
Great.
But we're doing some wontons here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
A little football. One more wonton on the Jags. Hold on, I got to sneeze.
Okay.
Sing, will you?
Old gray mare, she ate what she used to be. Actually, I'm still on a Neil Diamond kick, so I should have been, doing some Neil.
Well, you missed your moment.
Damn it.
The Jags, since acquiring Jacoby Myers at wide receiver,
he's been huge.
Number 4 passing success rate in the NFL and number 3 EPA per dropback.
Yeah. Who would have thought that him coming over would have unlocked?
That wasn't a huge deal when it happened. You're like, oh, okay, nice little get.
Yeah, Brian Thomas had a little bit of kind of an up and down second season after kind of the breakout rookie campaign, and Myers has just been what they needed. Let's also give Liam Cohen some credit. I know it's just the 1 year, but this is by far the best that Trevor Lawrence has looked, and they're running the ball well. Jacksonville is real. Now, it's a great run defense. Their secondary, but
they'll get a couple picks.
That's the thing is their turnover. I think they've 10 interceptions with 2 linebackers. And you watch some of Jacksonville. Look, I don't want to say that these are fluky. It's just Jacksonville doesn't have this dominating defense. It's kind of like Chicago. When you look at the statistics, some good, some bad, but they're living in this world of turnovers. And when I look at Jacksonville and Chicago, I'm not certain that the defense is as good as the numbers say. I think it's just one of those where you have an outlier in turnovers.
So Chicago, I pulled up the turnover differential.
Yeah.
Chicago, number 1, plus 22.
Yeah.
Houston is number 2 at plus 17. And then Jacksonville is 3rd at plus 13.
And I know this sounds crappy, but Houston creates those. And I think Chicago and Jacksonville, you create them too. It just, that's not dominant defense. It's just you're getting, sometimes turnovers are fluky, right? Sometimes they just happen. Tip ball bounces up in the air and you grab one. And so when I see, Devin Lloyd, and I forget who the other linebacker is, but when they have 10 interceptions between the two of them, look, those are okay linebackers, but let's not act like Devin Lloyd is Brian Urlacher.
Well, those are the types of things that all even out.
Yeah, and that's where I wonder. The biggest matchup in this, though, is the number 1 run defense in the NFL is Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And the number 1 rush offense is the Buffalo Bills.
Awesome.
So, this is that kind of heavyweight battle that you want to see, because Buffalo, when they can't run the ball, their offense is doo-doo. They need to be able to run the ball. And, so far this year, I think Jacksonville's the only team to give up less than 90 yards rushing per game. So this is strength on strength. And that may just be, can Josh Allen avoid the turnover, which when he doesn't turn it over, he's Superman. And when he does, he's their kryptonite. And can they effectively run the ball on Jacksonville?
They're doo-doo also.
That game may just simply boil down to that, but it's in my opinion, by far the best game in this whole wild card weekend.
Weather factor. You've got Chicago hosting Green Bay. They're saying 36 degrees, breezy, periods of snow and rain, and gusts up to 31 miles per hour.
Yikes.
That probably favors Chicago. They run the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, cold temperatures. They're saying around freezing, wind gusts up to 27, but no snow or rain.
Yeah.
And that probably favors...
I
don't know who that favors.
Well, the Texans are just going to suffocate. The Steelers can you get negative points in a game? Aaron Rodgers may.
Think so.
If they get 0 and they kill Aaron Rodgers, will that lead to the Texans being awarded extra points or the Steelers negative points?
Kamari Lassiter is going to play.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Houston's defense, they've actually given up a lot of points to some bad teams here over the last handful of weeks. Indiana dropped 30. Indianapolis dropped 30 on them with Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
21. The Raiders scored 21, and the Cardinals scored 21 on them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. But they're getting Kamari Lassiter back, which is huge. Also, a little shout out before we move on to a quarterback wonton. A little shout out to the man who saved the Houston Texans season. Do you know of whom I speak?
I do not.
Davis Mills, dude.
Oh, old long neck himself.
3 starts when
CJ
Stroud was hurt. 3-0, and he beat the Jags, Titans, and Bills.
Yeah, you kind of forget during the season too that Houston kind of went through a little bit of a whoopsie.
Well, not that. It wasn't that. It was that they sucked.
They weren't good.
Nobody thought they were any good.
Nope. And they managed to be on a heater. And there's some quality wins in there. When you look at Houston, who started off the season so poorly, but since then, right, they had that close loss to the Broncos, and then they've beaten Jacksonville, beaten the Bills, beaten the Colts, beaten the Chiefs when the Chiefs were still considered, doing something. They beat the Chargers, and then whatever the last game of the year against the Colts, although like you said, they did give up 30, which is kind of alarming. Yeah, the Texans, they just need their offense to be good. Like,
their offensive line got a little better.
Yes, they don't need to be great. They just need to be good. The Texans are one of those teams that if you can tell your offense, get me to 19, 20 points, and we'll do the rest. And I think that's the recipe. And normally I would say I don't consider Houston to be that good. In this weird field, is that enough to just have that one scary dominant group? Is that enough to kind of drag them through these playoffs?
And one big factor, and it's a factor every year, depending on who's in, but it's the stat of quarterbacks making their first career playoff start when they play quarterbacks with playoff experience. That number is now 20, 39, and 1 against the spread.
20, 39, and 1. Okay.
Meaning the quarterback who is making his first playoff start is only covering the spread 34% of the time.
Okay.
It's a thing.
So we got what? Bryce
Young? That
Young
applies to 3 quarterbacks this year. Bryce Young against Matt Stafford, Drake May against Justin Herbert, Caleb Williams against Jordan Love.
Boy.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that is a big one.
You got to learn how to win in the playoffs.
I would say the most likely there, right? Packers, Bears? Right?
Well, I mean, point spread wise, yeah.
Point spread wise. Although, Patriots, Chargers. That's another one of, for the Patriots being the 2 seed, does anyone have any idea 14-3 what we're going to see from the Patriots?
No.
Like,
not at all.
I don't know. Is this going to be, I think Minnesota won 13 games last year, if I'm not mistaken. Right. And it was like, oh, thanks for coming. Like, bow out.
Who beat them in the playoffs? Rams.
Yeah, the Rams. That was the Dan
just torched.
Yeah,
Donald.
Dan Campbell was like, "Oh, we'll see you next time." No, you won't, because you're going home. I just don't know if the Chargers are healthy enough. But that's if Jags Bills is my number 1 game, my number 2 game might be Patriots Chargers. Just because, one, I think what Justin Herbert is doing this year is incredible. You want to talk about a 1 unit dragging someone around? I got 1 player dragging a sorry ass entire injury riddled offense through. And so I want to see if he can do it. And I want to see how good New England is. Is New England really a true contender, or are they more Minnesota Vikings, but longer stability? Because obviously the Patriots are going to continue to get better. They're going to be able to add pieces to this.
The one game that we haven't talked about.
And I point out they do have 2 guys facing major felonies.
Who?
Well, Stephon Diggs is accused of beating the crap and choking a gal. And then
Christian Barrymore.
Yeah, Christian Barrymore is also, same thing. He's having a hard time keeping your hands off the ladies.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, not in that way.
Oh.
I can't imagine Rob just at home just delivering a backhand.
You kidding me? My wife kicks the crap out of me. Okay. One last thing. Niners, Eagles, we haven't talked a lot about it. I don't know. I find it kind of uninteresting just because I find the Eagles kind of uninteresting, even though they're really good.
Yeah.
And the Niners are just so beat up.
Yeah.
But under Nick Sirianni at home in the playoffs, the Eagles are 5-0, and their average margin of victory is 21 points.
I'll be damned.
Yeah. So.
Well, right off the Eagles at your own peril.
Exactly.
And by the way, their defense is starting to kind of come around.
If you look at the point spreads in all of these games, which I follow this stuff closely, there's only one that's really moved, and that is the Philly line. Philly opened 3.5 over the Niners.
It's now what, 5.5, 6?
It's like 5.5. Yeah. Like everybody's jumping on Philly.
Well, I think people saw what happened last week with San Francisco's offense against the Seattle D, and the Eagles' defense has been a little more uneven, up and down, but that defense hunts, and it's getting better. They're starting to get healthy, and so I think it's the idea of, well, we just saw what happened, and are we about to see it again? I did see Trent Williams was at practice. He was doing some stuff. Don't know his status.
I thought they said he was going to be out.
He was out at practice. That
All right.
I don't know what that means.
He's got a hamstring.
He's got a hammy, which I would assume that means you're out, but he was out there trying, and then Pearsall was out, but he was on a side field. And I'll tell you what, if Pearsall and Trent Williams can't go, at some point, like you're out of warm bodies.
And Trent Williams he was fully padded in the practice.
Okay.
So that may be a good sign. Also, 49ers without Trent Williams, 4-13.
Yeah.
So
is that right?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, think of the last thing we saw in that Seahawks 49ers game was Brock Purdy dead on the field because he was crushed by
That's
everybody.
true.
Yeah.
All right, there are your NFL wontons. I think you're ready for the playoffs. We will get back to Oregon, Indiana coming up next hour. Joey Harrington going to join us at 5:30. But up next, it's in the news. We do have a shooting. It's not good, but I have good news as well. Guess who is playing at Providence Park this July? We've got
Neil Diamond.
We've got some concert news. Unfortunately, Neil is not touring. He is, you know the deal.
He's got Parkinson's.
Yeah. Did you wait? Timeout.
You're calling for
I'm
the ball?
calling a T.
Okay.
Pertaining to nothing, I just found out yesterday Brett Favre has Parkinson's. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you know that, Steve?
He had a press conference where he was like, "Yeah, I know I'm a horrible human being, but I have Parkinson's." So
I didn't
everyone
know
loved me."
that.
Yeah. I think that was just either this year or last year that he had a very somber press conference.
All right. In the news is next. Here's Steven.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the CFP, their semifinals kicking off here real soon as Miami taking on Ole Miss from Glendale in the Fiesta Bowl. Miami, 3-point favorite going into this one. Winner takes on the winner of the Peach Bowl between the Oregon Ducks and Indiana Hoosiers. And we'll have Ducks coverage all day tomorrow on the Fan leading up to the game, including the game live at 4:30. Dolphins making a change at head coach. They're firing Mike McDaniel after 4 seasons. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross met with McDaniel on Tuesday to discuss the season, and after that meeting and reflection, Ross decided to move on. McDaniel a 4-17 record against teams with a record above 500. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce says he believes he will return for a 14th season as long as his body can take it. Kelce is an upcoming free agent, but he told his brother Jason on the New Heights podcast that he's looking forward to being a regular human over the next month as he mulls over his next step. But the next step could be in the NFL with a different team or the Chiefs. And the Trailblazers are at it again. They win last night 103-102. That is their 4th straight victory. Western Conference Player of the Week, the reigning Western Conference Player of the Week, Denny Avdia, 41 points. That's a Blazer high for him. Trailblazers Rockets have a rematch tomorrow night from Motor Center as well. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Tell George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
Your home for the Oregon Ducks.
Oh, you're about to lose this because Miami and Ole Miss are running out onto the field now. Mario Cristobal was very confused as to which direction he was supposed to run.
A little awkward there.
Well, he said he couldn't see, and then the guy was trying to tell him, and he was...
Someone shoot him? Has Cristobal been shot?
Cristobal strangled him with his high tee.
I think Cristobal's thick enough. He could probably take a slug.
And then Michael Irvin came running down the tunnel and started eating the guy. I mean, come on. Ole Miss cannot handle the testosterone on the Miami sideline.
Look, I'll tell you what. If testosterone is the X factor in this game, we know which side has the advantage.
Do they really, before we get to in the news, do we really need the American flag that's the size of a small planet? Is that necessary?
I think it is.
Yeah?
That's you got to cover the whole field. And
Do you?
Yeah. America.
Okay. It is January 7, 2026. It is time now. Oh, January 8, 2026. It is time now for In the News. I am your noted and humble newsman. Hello, thank you. It's brought to you by the Advocates Injury Attorneys at advocateslaw.com. Today is Argyle Day. Do you ever have I know you probably used to have Argyle.
Yeah, I like Argyle, but I don't.
You have anything Argyle right now?
I don't. I might have some Argyle socks maybe, but I wish I could wear more Argyle, but I don't think it's a big man's game.
Oh, really?
Nah, the Argyle's
Is it still in, or is it an old man thing? I don't know. I'm asking the wrong guy. Bubble bath day as well.
When was the last time you had a bubble bath?
You know what? When I was jotting that down today, I thought about that, and I said to myself, I don't think I've ever had a bubble bath.
I've had a bubble bath, but I mean, here goes back to my whole big guy thing. I don't fit in bathtubs. Like,
well, but why a bubble? Like, I don't.
It's very soothing.
Is it?
Yeah. Now, I will say that I have a hot tub that I'm in all the time, and that is essentially a bubble bath, right? I turn on the jets and,
Yeah, that's not a bubble bath.
Well, I mean,
you gotta have the bubbles, man.
Well, there are bubbles that are formed.
Yeah, but that's not a bubble. Come on. Nobody calls a hot tub a bubble bath.
As close as I get to it.
Okay, well, here's the bad news.
Rubber ducky, you're the one. Do-do-do-do. You make bath time
lots of fun.
Try it again, please.
That's what I think of when you give me the bubble bath. I think of old
Bert and Ernie.
Yeah.
2 people were shot by federal law enforcement agents Thursday afternoon in East Portland.
Oh, that's great.
Officers responded to Southeast Main Street near I-205, the location of Adventist Health Portland, for a report of a shooting at 2:18 p.m. Officers confirmed at the scene that federal agents were involved in the shooting, which happened in the hospital parking lot.
So this is not ICE. I guess they're saying this is Border Patrol.
I don't know. It just says federal agents here.
Well, and now they keep doing updates on this, but I think the FBI said that they were going to lead the investigation.
Hey, you can maybe get some info for us.
There you go.
Text your FBI friend.
And so it seems like this is now that this was like 25 minutes ago. They're saying it was with U.S. Border and Customs. They shot a husband and wife. And it was, again, over the vehicle that nearly struck their agents.
Yeah, they said there was a car with the door open, damaged in the parking lot.
Yeah. I found it interesting, though, that, like...
They did not...
Well, they didn't stick around. Like, they shot him, and then we're like,
we're out of here. The 2 people shot, they don't know the status, but they were taken to the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. We're... Nothing good's happening right now.
Wild stuff.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
You tell me.
I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but
yeah, we shouldn't.
I can't believe what's happening.
You got a statement here.
Actually, I can believe it.
Totally believable.
Yeah.
Where is that statement?
I don't know. What statement? Who are you?
Oh,
the mayor.
The mayor.
Yeah, the mayor.
Yeah, he said.
I have that. If you want.
Keith Wilson. He said, "We cannot sit by while constitutional protections erode and bloodshed mounts. Portland is not a training ground for militarized agents, and the full force threatened by the administration has deadly consequences. As mayor, I call on ICE to end all operations in Portland until a full investigation can be completed. Federal militarization undermines effective community-based public safety, and it runs counter to the values that define our region. I will use every legal and legislative tool available to protect our residents' civil and human rights."
I'll just tell you, man, it's terrifying. This feels like this is coming to a roiling boil, and it's
a roiling boil.
Yeah, this is
well,
just
and to think you're just a big white guy.
Yeah, this is just all just bad. it's really, really scary.
Guess who's coming to Providence Park? This show will be July 17th.
Well, I already said Neil Diamond, but apparently that's not going to happen. But I'm on a Neil Diamond kick. So is it someone that's as cool as Neil Diamond? Burt Bacharach.
Huh. Well,
The Velvet Fog.
he's really good. I don't know that he's as cool as Neil. I mean, I went to the Neil show. Well, I went to a couple Neil shows when he came through Portland. And one of them I'll never forget. Because it's basically just a bunch of old ladies sitting there crocheting, like waiting for the show.
By the way, going to the Broadway show, it's a lot of that same sort of thing. There was a bus from the Caremark facility that was letting people off in front of the Keller.
Yeah, that's his audience. But I just remember how many of the old ladies, like, so they're just sitting there reading books and stuff before the show starts. Like, usually you're getting lubed up, maybe doing a line or something. I don't know. Yeah. And they're just reading books or crocheting. But once Neil came out there in his sequins, it was amazing how many women old women run up to the stage and, toss panties and
I will say
bras.
That there is a member of my family who has thrown a undergarment at Neil Diamond.
Who's that? John? Who?
Little Bull, I may be looking at you.
Really?
Yeah. My mom threw something to Neil Diamond years and years ago.
That's fantastic. Because why not? Like, what's the point of that, though? I don't understand. I
think my mom just got caught up in the moment. She's a free swinging Euro, and my dad.
But
was
are they
all
hoping
about it.
Neil's people are like, you come here, and then they shuffle him back to the back?
Like, little Bull, get up here. That was back in the day. She was younger. She was spry back in the day. But yes, I remember hearing the story about my mom hurling something at Neil Diamond back in the day. I was like, what? That might have been when I just first became aware of who Neil Diamond was.
You gotta shoot your shot, man.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Check this out, Neil.
There's no other way to shoot your shot than toss your panties at him.
Well, there's a couple artists like that have it where they have like a mic stand or whatever, and they put all the bras and panties, and then they put it on there, and it's like a traveling thing.
Like Coyote Ugly.
Yeah, something like that.
No, I'm speaking of country music star Chris Stapleton. He will be here.
Ah, Chris Stapleton's great.
He will bring his All-American Roadshow to Providence Park this summer. Large-scale concerts. This one, July 17th, with Grace Potter as a special guest.
Grace Potter also, great voice. Grace Potter and the Nocturnals, I believe, are her band. Now, I've seen Chris Stapleton, and I will tell you this. It is not the most dynamic of shows. He's got a little Alan Jackson where he just kind of stays put. Yeah. But that dude...
saw him, too. He was very good. He sounds really good.
He sounds amazing.
Live.
Yes.
So there's that for you guys out there. Coming up next, is Clark County prepared for a silver tsunami?
What?
Are you prepared for a silver tsunami? You live up there.
I think I know what you're talking about, and if so, I'm living in the silver tsunami right now.
Yeah, you're right in the eye of the storm.
I am in the eye of the storm.
That's next on The Fan. Well, I can report to you that if the first series is any indication, Ole Miss may get negative points because they did not block one guy on the Miami defense.
No, including a sack there
It was
on
ugly.
3rd and 4. So
Yeah, it was ugly.
Not
But Carson Beck, being Carson Beck, he has already missed a wide open touchdown.
I'm not really sure where he was trying to throw the ball. If that was his intended receiver, you won't see a worse pass in the playoff this year.
Well, it was definitely his intended receiver. The question is did the guy run the wrong route? But he broke free and was
certainly didn't look like he ran
wide open if he leads him, and he threw it like 20 yards behind him and over his other shoulder.
Wrong shoulder.
What are you doing?
Well, hey, 4th and 2, and we got Miami saying screw it, we're going for it.
Oh my God, Cristobal pulling a Dan Lanning.
Yeah. 4th and 2 on looks like the Ole Miss 43. So this makes sense.
This is in the news for Jan 8, 2026. It is Elvis's birthday, by the way.
That's right. January 8th. I was thinking about there's a movie called DC Cab.
Yeah.
And starring the great Mr. T. And in no ways is a good movie. But it does feature Gary Busey. And he drops the great line. I always remember Elvis's birthday. Just so you know, I don't go to work on January 8th. Why? Because that's Elvis's birthday. That birthday, for whatever reason, because of that line in the movie, is forever burned in my brain.
Well, demographers have long warned a silver tsunami of baby boomers would overflow nursing home capacity, and that time in Clark County
is
near.
I will say that we have so many old folks' homes over there, and they're trying to build more. They pop up all the time.
Already 122,664 Clark County residents, 23% of the county's total population, are older than 60. Meanwhile, they have 8 skilled nursing centers with a combined 744 beds.
Doesn't seem like that's
That's
enough.
not a good ratio.
No, it is not.
Right there.
Yeah. It's a rough go, but they're trying. Some of the ones we have over there are quite nice, though.
So they'll build. If you're wondering, you're like, well, how's that going to work? Well, they're saying that they'll build assisted living, like private pay places, all day.
Yeah.
Because they make a bunch of money on it.
Yes.
What they don't want to build are nursing homes.
Yes.
Skilled care.
Yeah.
They're expensive, and the math doesn't math.
The math doesn't math. This is one of those things that if you've had to go through it, and I know you have, I've done it. If you've had to deal with trying to get care for an elderly parent, we have a crisis coming down the road in the country. Because even if you are a middle-class family that saved a little bit, the amount of money that it costs to try to care for an elderly person is astronomical. And the care that you get based on the government, if you can find a bed, it ain't good. And it really is I don't wish it on anybody.
No, it's brutal.
It's really bad.
It's very confusing. People don't know. It's just, there's so much to it. If I had any advice for people of our age, you're what, 47? I'm 50. Get a long-term care policy.
Yes.
Do it.
Even if you have to start paying into it now,
you will have to
that,
start paying
yes,
now.
It
but
will
it will
pay off.
absolutely be worth it
Yes.
when you're older.
I have one.
Yeah.
And it's quite expensive. Every
Yeah.
month when I look at the bill and I see it come out, I'm always like, ugh. And then I think to myself,
you're doing the right thing.
When I'm 65 or 70, or God forbid if something happens, you do not want to end up, if you can even, and that's the thing, the people that can get into the government homes, you're grateful that you're even in some place, but they're awful places. And yet it's better because if you don't have another option. Yeah.
That is in the news for Jan 8, 2026, brought to you by the Advocates Injury Attorneys at advocateslaw.com. We'll get to a few headlines. Another NFL coach fired, and the latest on Damon Williams. It's getting a little screwy. Joey Harrington coming up next hour on Oregon, Indiana as well, here on 105.1 The Fan.
FM and 1080 AM.
First on the fan, CFP semifinals starting tonight. Miami is taking on Ole Miss. We're about halfway through the first quarter of that one. Tied up still at 0. Miami came into the game as a 3-point favorite. The winner of that game taking on the winner of the Peach Bowl tomorrow between the Oregon Ducks and Indiana Hoosiers. We'll have all the Ducks coverage you want and need tomorrow on the fan leading up to the game, which we will also have live at 4:30 in the Peach Bowl. Dolphins making a move at head coach there, firing Mike McDaniel after 4 seasons. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross met with McDaniel earlier this week to discuss the season, and after the meeting and reflection, Ross decided to move on from McDaniel. McDaniel is 4-17 against teams with a record above 500. Former Oregon State offensive coordinator Ryan Gunderson has a new gig. He is being hired by the Utah Utes as their new quarterback coach. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce says he believes he will play for a 14th NFL season only as long as his body can take it. Kelce is an upcoming free agent, and he told his brother on the New Heights podcast that he's looking forward to being a regular human over the next month as he mulls over his next step, but that next step could continue to be in the NFL. The Trailblazers win again, taking out the Rockets 103-102 last night. It was the Blazers' 4th win in a row, reigning Western Conference Player of the Week. Member Denny Advia, 41 points. That's a Blazers high for him. He led the way as the Blazers Rockets will take on each other again on Friday from the Moda Center. For more scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy Worn Out Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenOut.com.
All right, welcome back. Hope you're having a nice little Thursday. Got your sportsman here. I'm Rob. Hi. Big Sook right over there.
Right here.
Look at him. And you've also got new producer Stephen Vaughn in the house on day 5, I think. Yeah, day 5.
Sounded.
Milwaukee's finest, they call him.
The OG.
So coming up here, we've got Joey Harrington joining us at 5:30. See where the worry meter's at for the rematch with Indiana. Coming up tonight in the club, we have the 10 small habits that reveal a lot about your personality.
That's fun.
Okay.
I'm going to find out that we're all terrible people.
Maybe. And some other stuff.
I returned my shopping cart now.
Now?
I always did. Now
shamed?
I go the extra. I used to always make sure it was on the curb so it couldn't roll away. I will say that since we've discussed it, I do make sure it goes into the little corral now.
So you're admitting that you were a bad human before?
No, I admit that I was a partially bad human because I never left my shopping cart. I just didn't always return it to the correct.
Well, I don't think that was the thing. I think it was you have to if you don't put it back, you're an ass.
I did put it back. Just not in the way that it was probably designed to be put back.
I can tell you as a former cart pusher-inner at Costco.
Oh,
okay.
There you go.
I didn't care what you did.
Inside info.
I didn't mind when there was just like one straggler cart just hanging out because it wasted a lot more time. So like when people are parking in that third lot and I have to go check it out and there's only one cart, at least I'm doing something and it wastes a little bit more time. So I think it's a little overrated what we were talking about here.
Okay. All right. There you go. The inside scoop.
There you go.
On cart pushing.
Yeah, is I would never just willy-nilly leave my cart anywhere.
Right, don't leave it in the middle of the road.
But I made sure that it was on like up on a curb where it couldn't roll away, that it was safe and secure. And now I do take the extra time to bring it back to the corral. And apparently that's not what a cart pusher wants.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
I think you should always put it back.
In an ideal world, yeah, put it back. But you know what?
It's what you're supposed to do.
Just don't leave it in the middle of the road. So if it's on a curb, it's all good.
Couple of headlines, things going on today before we get back into Oregon, Indiana. Dolphins have fired coach Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, which, by the way, if I'm like the Houston Texans, could I possibly fire my offensive coordinator right now and hire him to be my, I don't know if he'll get another head coaching job right away. That is one of the better offensive minds in football. And there are a lot of teams with wonky offenses that I would like immediately call him and be like, same thing with the Texans. I get we can't hire you right now. Don't go anywhere. We'll fire our guy at the end of the season. You're our guy. Go get him.
Angel.
If you have a young quarterback, go get him.
What about Baltimore?
Well, they don't have a coach.
Well, I know, but I'm just mean if like
Lamar. I don't know I don't know what they're going to do as far as the staff goes.
I mean, they might
yes.
keep Monken, but I bet they fire him. And
I would
coach hire McDaniel.
Absolutely, 100%.
Brian Flores, head coach, Mike McDaniel, OC.
Done and done. Do it tomorrow.
He's 0-2 in
biracial angel.
0-2 in the playoffs. Great glasses, and 35-33 in 4 seasons in Miami.
He got emotional and was teary when he was informed that he was going to be fired.
4-17 though against teams about 500.
Yeah,
yes,
that's rough.
Yes,
but I would imagine the John Harbaugh thing had something to do with that, right? Because he wasn't fired initially.
Yeah,
and now that Harbaugh's out there, Stephen Ross is like, "Whoa, wait a minute,
go get Harbaugh."
So we'll see. Damon Williams Jr., Washington quarterback, dropped by his agent today, and now, according to Pete Thamel, who had this report before the Miami Ole Miss game started, he is considering a return to Washington
4 minutes ago.
And Washington would welcome back and is hoping he will return.
4 minutes ago on Instagram, Damon Williams, excuse me. Damon Williams, after thoughtful reflection with my family, I'm excited to announce that I will continue my football journey at the University of Washington.
Wow.
He is back. And by the way, that is not with your family. That was after thoughtful consideration. I realized that LSU was not going to be able to pay me a dime. Therefore, I will come back and take my $5 million from the Washington Huskies.
Hey, Suk, he said, I am fully committed.
Yes.
So there we go.
And Washington wants him back, huh?
Yeah, it said, this is from Jed Fish. Over the last few days, Desmond and I have engaged in a very honest and heartfelt conversations about his present and future. We both agree that the University of Washington is the best place for him to continue his academic, athletic, and social development. Sure, the academic development is so good. I appreciate Damon's statement. I support him, and we work together to begin the process of repairing relationships and regaining the trust of the Husky community. So he is back.
Okay.
And this is simply because it sounds like the agent, he got bad advice from the same guy that was advising Nico in the Tennessee breakup. His agent dropped him and said that they have different ideas. And so it's now come out that it sounds like when Levitt was at LSU, that deal was basically done. This is what's being reported, that Levitt was basically a done deal. And Lane Kiffin had always been enamored with Damon Williams. He recruited him out of high school. And that I forget the guy's name, but the donkey who was advising Williams, the same guy that did Nico, apparently he reached out, or Lane reached out and said, hey, I think we can make this happen. And Lane kind of threw it out there, and it kind of came together as a last minute thing. And now Lane Kiffin is supposedly taking some heat from LSU over this.
So does this piss Sam Levitt off? Is he out of there now?
Well, Levitt went and visited Tennessee. So yeah, the report was that Levitt was all committed to LSU, and now he's having second thoughts. And apparently some people at LSU are none too thrilled that Lane has thrown them into the spotlight over this without really doing any sort of due diligence about what was happening. So again, to be clear, they could not sue Damon Williams into staying at UW, but it sounds like with the contract that they signed, they were going to keep him from making any money at LSU. So
what an exciting
shocking development. $5 million from UW or play for free for a year at LSU, and the young man has decided to come back to the University of Washington.
Okay. What else do I have here? Oh, I was going to tell you that Missouri quarterback Bo Pribula was visiting Washington today.
Yeah. Who I'm guessing he will not be going to Washington after this.
Probably not, but wouldn't that be funny if UW brought in a hammer backup or a hammer quarterback to challenge Damon Williams?
I do think it's fair. So Husky fan went from Damon Williams is going to be the Heisman Trophy winner next year to he was short and a bum and I don't want him. And now you're back to he's going to win the Heisman Trophy. Remember, in their losses this year, I think he had 2 touchdowns and I think 6 or 7 picks. He was bad in their losses. And I think that young man has a lot of talent. I thought he was going to be better than he was this year. But all the quarterbacks that we came into this season saying, oh, they're going to take the next step, most of them did not. So be careful with the Damon Williams is back and everything's hunky-dory. That guy's got a lot to prove now on and off the field at UW.
Do you have any eligibility left?
I do not.
Mm.
I went all 5 years at one school, which is now like unheard of.
Ole Miss might need you.
They're in some trouble.
2 3-and-outs.
They're,
I mean, it's only 3-0. Miami's up 3-0.
Their front, though.
But their front is not handling Miami well at all.
No.
Oregon State has its defensive coordinator. They bring in Lance Guidry. I wonder if you know who Lance Guidry is.
Is it any relation to Ron Guidry, the only Guidry that I know?
I don't know about that. He was most recently a defensive analyst at LSU, but he went to LSU after getting turfed at Miami. He was the defensive coordinator for the Cam Ward season at Miami.
Oh.
Do you remember how bad their defense was?
I do remember how bad he was.
Yeah, that's the Oregon State guy.
Huh.
Lance Guidry.
It's a little strange. Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Go Lance.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're working with there. I mean,
who knows?
Budget-wise, and maybe he turns out to be good.
And this happened last night on our show. Anybody have any hot commentary about Trae Young being dealt for C.J. McCollum?
Well, the best part is when we found out Trae Young was being considered to Washington, we all laughed and was like, "That's the perfect trade." Just CJ for Trae, they're the same player. Why not make it happen? Underside score first guard, yeah, let's do it.
Swapping hollow guards, an American pastime.
Yes.
And those are your headlines. Let's get into Oregon, Indiana. We'll have our thoughts on the game, and then we'll bring in Joey Harrington for his thoughts coming up next on The Fan.
The Fan Sports Network is your home for the college football playoff.
Touchdown, Texas Tech!
Every game of the college football playoff heard on 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, The Fan, and 910 AM ESPN Portland.
Touchdown! Indiana takes the lead!
The College Football Playoff on the Fan Sports Network is brought to you by Video Only, Mods PDX, and Legends Hotel and Casino.
Now, here's a quick look at Portland traffic.
We will see some slow traffic if you're traveling on 5, both directions, really. North and southbound between 405 and 84, and northbound 5 is definitely tough all the way to the Interstate Bridge. I'm Casey, that's traffic.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month.
All right, coming up in 10 minutes, maybe 15, our friend Joey Harrington will hop on and we will discuss in depth Oregon, Indiana.
Yeah.
I have a quick update. You and I are going to talk about the game here in a sec, but I have a quick update on the Portland shooting with the feds.
Yes. 2 people
we
have been
talked
shot.
about.
I think it's a husband-wife team, if I'm not mistaken.
They are a team.
Yeah.
Dynamic Wonder Twin Powers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Department of Homeland Security is out, and they say that Border Patrol agents were conducting a traffic stop targeting an alleged Venezuelan illegal alien affiliated with the transnational Tren de Aragua, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
You're not, but okay.
Prostitution ring.
Okay.
DHS says when Border Patrol agents identify themselves to the people in the car, the driver, who the feds alleged is a gang member, weaponized his vehicle and attempted to run over the law enforcement agents. The feds say the agent fired a defensive shot out of fear for his life and safety, and the driver fled the scene with his passenger. DHS also says the alleged gang member here was recently involved in a shooting in Portland.
Okay. So let's all wait until we actually see what happened, and then, we'll go from there. There should be footage just like there was in Minneapolis, although story seems to be changing on a daily basis, even though we can all see it with our own 2 eyes, but we shall wait and see. And that's what the mayor said, and I thought it was apropos. Just said, let's wait and see how this plays out. Let's see what the video says before we go jumping to any rash conclusions.
Well, the game will be right here on the Fan tomorrow. We invite you to go to the Thirsty Line in Washington Square. Pregame show with Dirt and Anthony Newman presented by Coors Light will be on hand there on location. Thirsty Line, Washington Square. Big watch party for the game. I'm pumped. I actually have already said I think Oregon might win this game. What do you think?
I think there's a chance. Look, I think the world of college football, what we've seen right now is that there's no more great teams. Ohio State was the closest thing I thought to one of the teams that we've seen in the past, and they got knocked out. So just the talent has been spread out. So the fact that, that you have Ole Miss here, that you have Indiana in this game, the difference, there's no more Joe Burrow LSU teams coming down the road. So Indiana right now is the best team in college football. They're a wagon, but let's not act like they're that much better than Oregon. And the thing that gives me hope, I'm still going to take Indiana in this game. I'm done doubting them. They proved it. They went into your house. They beat you. It was a close game, but I thought they were better than you. And nothing that I've seen from Indiana leads me to believe that that has changed. But if I'm an Oregon fan and I want to be like, okay, why does this game end up different than the first one? These teams are very close, and it's hard to beat teams multiple times. It's not like if these teams played 5 times, Indiana wins all 5. So Oregon certainly is capable of doing it. The other one is from a talent standpoint, a talent profile. We've never seen a team like Indiana finish this thing off. Oregon, from a talent standpoint, quote unquote, is that much greater than Indiana. And here's the other one, even going back and watching that game as I did this week, went back and wanted to take a look at it again. When you lose to a team, there's a difference between being physically beaten up and a team that out-schemes you. And I think when you look at Oregon's offense and what they did against Indiana, I think a lot of that was Dante Moore being confused. I think most of those sacks were coverage sacks or protection scheme sacks. Harkey got beat on the first play. He just got beat. But the rest of that was, I thought the running backs were poor in pass protection. I think Dante Moore got confused a lot. And so if you just physically whoop a team's ass, that's hard to make adjustments, right? What do you do? Except be better, and that's hard. But when it's schematics and it's the second time around, think about Major League Baseball lineups. It's harder to hit someone the first 2 times through the lineup. You see it the third or fourth time, it gets a lot easier. So Oregon should be better equipped to handle what Indiana does defensively against them. And I think the emergence of their 2 tight ends and the fact that Sadiq's healthy now, I think Oregon's going to play a lot of 12 personnel and try to live in that world and not get greedy. I thought in that first game, they wanted to kind of turn and make Dante Moore the hero and have these explosive plays, and you're just not going to get him against Indiana. I think they were not patient. And I think in this version of it, I think they are going to be okay with playing a low-scoring game and take what Indiana is willing to give you. I think they learned some lessons, and I think that could lead to a close game that maybe tilts this time in Oregon's favor. So there is a path here for Oregon to win. And so that's I just don't think that this is one of those games you look at and say Indiana is significantly better. I think they're better. They proved it. But this isn't like an overwhelming, my God, there's nothing we can do against Indiana.
Well, I always think too, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but when you get a rematch like this, the losing team always, I don't know, they almost instantly have the upper hand because they're the ones that has to adjust.
Yeah.
Whereas the other team's like, well, okay, this worked. We're going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, I don't know. I have to think, having seen Indiana, having seen how physical they are, their discipline, they've been on the field with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a big help for Oregon. Now, this idea that it's hard to beat the same team twice, the numbers say
it's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
But a lot of that too is like you're saying. Some of these they're playing. One team is just clearly better in college football. It's not like the NFL.
Yeah, when BYU played Texas Tech earlier in the year,
they'll beat them 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, BYU can't do anything. They can't block Texas Tech. I'm telling you, watching Oregon, Indiana, it's not as dominant. Like there's this idea out there that Oregon got punched in the mouth, and they did in some instances. But this idea that they were dominated on the line of scrimmage, it really wasn't. The O-line wasn't that bad. Again, the 6 sacks and the negative yardage to that made the run totals look really bad. But especially inside the tackles, Oregon ran the ball. They had 3 guys average 5 yards a carry.
Yeah, they just kind of went away from it.
They kind of went away from it. And that's where I said I think they really got impatient. And they were bad on third down, and I think they kind of outthought the room. I don't think they're going to outthink the room. I think they're going to run the ball and really try to pick their spots. And then from a protection standpoint, outside of Harkey getting beaten like a drum on that one play, a lot of it was just being confused about what Indiana does because they run so many simulated pressures. Anytime you get to 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, Indiana will walk 7 guys up at the line of scrimmage, and you don't know who's coming. And I thought that really gave Oregon problems. One, because they lived in 3rd and 6. I think they were 3 of 15, if I'm not mistaken, on third down, and the average length on those was about 3rd and 7. You can't live in that world if you're Oregon, but if you do, I'm guessing that Oregon is going to have a better idea of what they're doing on third down, whether that's simplifying pass protection rules and saying, hey, this is the way we're going to block it. We're going to take care of this side. This side's hot. Dante, it's on you. You have to get rid of the ball. They need to have better answers, and they should. If they don't, then that's on the Oregon coaching staff.
Well, more should be better.
Yes. They should have better answers on 3rd and long against Indiana than what they did the first time around.
Across modern college football data, so this is BCS era to college football playoff era, the team that won the first matchup wins the rematch 60 to 65% of the time.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know. Based on that, is it hard to beat the same team?
I don't think so.
I don't know. People always say that, and I just trust, it's like Joey's been saying that. You said, so I'm like, okay, there's got to be something to it. You guys played, but it doesn't seem that.
Again, there's a difference. There's a difference between BYU, Texas Tech, and Indiana and Oregon. Indiana will not overwhelm Oregon. They shouldn't. They didn't do it the first time. It was a close game. Now, my biggest concern and why I'm going to pick Indiana in this game, won't shock me if Oregon wins, is I've talked about it all year. Oregon's offense against the better teams that they've played. And this is, by the way, even if you include USC where they actually had the big point total, they're averaging less than 19 points a game against the good teams that they've played. And that includes teams like Wisconsin, right? This offense it's not great. It's a good offense. It's not great. They leave a lot of meat on the bone, right? They go for it a lot on 4th down, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The kicking game has certainly gotten better, but they are just an uneven offense. And when you look throughout this season, 17 points in regulation against Penn State, 13 points against Indiana. Remember, 7 of those came on the pick 6, so they scored 20, but 13 of them were the offense. 16 points, I think, against Texas Tech. The last touchdown was when Texas Tech was going for it on 4th and whatever from their own 20. 16 points when that game was still, meaningful. Like, they just haven't really had big explosive games. And against an Indiana team who people don't score against, it's hard for me to believe that all of a sudden Oregon, after 14 or 15 weeks, is somehow everything's going to click and they're going to score 30 points. That's just not who they are. At some point, this is who you are. And so you ask the question, is that good enough to beat Indiana? I don't think it is. And if it is, it's because the defense holds Indiana to 14 points. Remember, Ohio State, that game between Ohio State and Indiana was 13-10. You can slow down Indiana's offense.
Penn State did it.
Yeah, Penn State did it. That was 27-24.
And lucky to be 27.
Yes, yes. So Indiana isn't some sort of offensive juggernaut that's going to score 40 points either. In these big games, let's not act like Mendoza is throwing for 5 touchdowns. I think Oregon needs to accept the fact that the best way for them to win this game is the way Indiana beat Ohio State. And that's why I wonder, you brought it up, I think it's a very good point. Does Dan Lanning get a little more conservative and take the 3 points when they're presented? I think there's a path to victory in doing that. I don't know if he will, but that if they win, I think we're going to be on here Monday talking about their defense and not their offense, and then maybe Dante Moore making 1 or 2 big plays.
Ooh, there you broke one.
Oh, all right.
Ole Miss to the house.
Ole Miss, yeah. 7 or 6-3 now. Like that, the play he had against Texas Tech where he had Sadiq down the middle and he got a little confused by the middle field safety and he didn't rip the ball. You have to make those plays against Indiana.
Yeah.
That you have to be able to make Indiana pay for the few mistakes that they make, because they probably make less mistakes than any team in the country on defense. And when they present themselves, you have to take advantage of
We
them.
all love Dante Moore, but he hasn't put together like a full game that's been great. Like, he's had throws, he's had moments.
Yeah.
This is a game where he needs to avoid mistakes. He needs to make plays throughout the game, because you're right. They may not need 24 points. They may only need 21 to win this game.
Yeah.
But they can't have the big mistake out of Dante Moore. And he hasn't had those games this season. He had those moments. The Iowa throw, Penn State. He hasn't had a full game of it. They need that out of him in this one.
Yeah, and you need your defense to just be suffocating. You need your defense to be dominant. Ride the defense. And Miami's doing this. There's a lot of teams that win this way. And it's weird to think with Oregon, because we know of all this offensive talent and Dante Moore is this NFL prospect, but at this point in the season, you are who you are, and the best unit on your field is your defense. Ride your defense, take the 3 points, and I just have a sinking feeling that Oregon's going to come out in 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, and this is the world that they're going to live in, and they are going to absolutely try to pound the rock in the middle on Indiana and try to force them out of their nickel and force them out of those pressure looks.
I think they should. They had success with it early in the...
Yeah, and they just went away from it.
In the first game. Quan Lacey, 73-yard touchdown run. Ole Miss leads Miami 7-3. They're in the second quarter. Let's get Joey Harrington in here, see where his panic meter is at for this game against Indiana. We'll do that next. But first, here's Stephen with SportsCenter.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, CFP semifinals starting tonight. We are at the start of the second quarter. Ole Miss just broke off a big touchdown run. 73 yards. Quan Lacey gives Ole Miss a 7-3 lead over the Miami Hurricanes down in Glendale. Miami was a 3-point favorite heading into this one. Winner of this game will take on the winner of the Peach Bowl tomorrow. Ducks Hoosiers. We'll have that one here on the Fan live at 4:30. And we'll have all the Ducks coverage you need leading up to the game right here on the Fan. Dolphins making the move at head coach. They are firing Mike McDaniel after 4 seasons. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross met with McDaniel earlier this week to discuss the season. And after the meeting, Ross decided they needed to move on. McDaniel had a 4-17 record against teams with a record above 500. Former Oregon State offensive coordinator Ryan Gunderson, he is heading over to Utah to be their brand new quarterback coach. Washington quarterback Damon Williams hit the transfer portal last night. Well, he's taking it back after a lot of decisions, a lot of agents leaving his way. He has put out a statement saying he is committed to the University of Washington and will be the Washington quarterback starting next year. Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce says he believes he'll play for a 14th season only as long as his body can take it. Now, Kelce will be a free agent this offseason, but he told his brother on the New Heights podcast that he's ready to mull over the decision, see what he wants to do. And the Trailblazers, they win again. They're 4th in a row. They took out the Rockets last night, 103-102. Denny Advio leads the way, 41 points. Next up for the Blazers is another game against the Houston Rockets on Friday from the Moda Center. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at wornout.com.
Still drive to work in your family's minivan. The doctor calls on Wednesday, right before your flight, to talk about your colorectal exam. You're back to work on Thursday and your boss is all uptight, 'cause you didn't push your best-selling brand. But now it's the Friday drive and it's story time. Yes, it's story time. The one time a week when you can truly plan to kick back and listen to story time. Yes, it's story time. We're pushing it out on every airwave we can. We're on both 105.1 and 1080 The Fan. Part of the Fan's Global Sports Radio Network.
All right, who knew we'd beat after Indiana beat Oregon 30-20 at Autzen?
I did.
Wait, you knew we'd be here?
Oh, yeah. Never doubt.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But, hey, here we are. Good
Are
call.
you going to seriously? If there's anybody, who would have, it's Joey Blue Skies, right?
Yeah,
That's
true.
right.
That's true.
Well, I think most people
so-
believed that Texas Tech was not going to be the bump in the road. This is where the rubber meets the road. That Indiana's the favorite. Obviously, Oregon is making their case, but the majority of people think that this is Indiana's game to win or lose. And so I don't remember where I heard it, but someone brought up the point that, if they lose this game, no one will give Lanning credit for beating James Madison and Texas Tech. It was like James Franklin last year didn't get credit for winning the two games. You still got the blame for losing it. It was almost like you were expected to beat those two. Now go do something that we don't think you're going to go do. This is by far the biggest game in Lanning's career.
Okay, hold on. Explain that one again. I'm trying to follow here.
So, Oregon goes through the year, right? They don't win the Big Ten, and they weren't expected to, right? Ohio State was the favorite, and then here comes Indiana. You lose to Indiana in the regular season, you get to the playoff. James Madison and Texas Tech, I think everyone thought Oregon was supposed to beat those two teams.
Wasn't Texas Tech the favorite?
Was Texas Tech favorite in that?
No, Oregon's slight favorite.
I think Oregon was a slight
Really?
favorite. Most people thought that Texas Tech was one-dimensional and Oregon should win that game. And so I heard, I don't remember who it was. I wish I could remember who it was. Someone brought up the point of Penn State last year, right? That Franklin wins the two playoff games and then gets to this point and they lost to Notre Dame. And no one gave James Franklin any credit for beating, was it Boise State and who else did they beat?
Was it SMU?
Might have been SMU. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was SMU and Boise or whatever. And so it's like no one gave them any credit for it. It's like you only get the blame. And I kind of feel like that's where Oregon's at. If Oregon wins this game, everything's hunky-dory. Lanning gets over the hump. You got the doorstep of a national championship. But if you lose this game, I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, Oregon beat James Madison and Texas Tech. It's going to be like, well, you couldn't beat Indiana. Last year, you couldn't beat Ohio State. The year before, you couldn't beat Washington. And whether it's fair or not, this is the game. This is the game that Dan Lanning will be judged on. It just will be. And I'm not saying it's fair, but James Franklin didn't get credit, and Lanning won't either for beating those two teams.
But you're basing this conversation off of the supposition, is that the right word, that Oregon and or Penn State was supposed to be in this place.
Yes.
I think people believe that about Penn State. I don't think there were many people. I thought people, my recollection, right, I can barely remember yesterday, let alone 3 months ago. I think the majority of people thought Oregon was going to be a very good football team.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think, I mean, if you go back and look at the preseason rankings, predictions, I don't think anybody predicted that Oregon was going to be here. So I would push back in the sense that James Franklin was being judged on an expectation that he be in this place, whereas I think Dan Lanning, and however you want to, whoever you want to give credit to, getting to the semifinals in and of itself with the expectations is a win, right?
Yeah.
Is that a fair?
Yeah, I see
counterpoint,
and I would agree at the beginning, but stuff changes, and I think as this season went on, I think expectations changed. And
but I'm going to push back again. Do you think after the Indiana game this year that people looked and said, you know what, this is a semifinal team? That was midway through the season.
Look, you can operate in that rational world, and I totally get why. I think it's irrational that what happened to James Franklin. But just because something becomes irrational doesn't mean it's not true. And the truth of the matter is, if Oregon loses this game, and it's the second loss to Indiana, much like the Washington one, people are going to take a big giant steamer on this season, and they're just not going to give you credit for beating James Madison and beating Texas Tech. They're just not. Everything about this season will come down to this game, in my opinion.
I'm going to disagree and say that this is speaking something into existence that wouldn't necessarily. I mean, sure, there's always going to be people out there that, have unrealistic expectations. I think this is speaking something into existence that wouldn't necessarily have been there. Sure, I think it's fair to be disappointed. Like I was thinking the other day, and I say disappointed, assuming that we're talking about the instant if they lost. Like I was thinking about like how many times, God, we've been so close. Like I remember being at the game against Auburn. I remember being at the game against Ohio State. Like thinking through these situations and how oh my gosh. So it would be fair to be disappointed, but I don't think it's a fair thing to hold this against Dan Lanning.
Didn't say it was fair. Just like I said, what happened to James Franklin wasn't fair, but it's the reality. See, you're operating in a rational Joey Harrington world.
Hop in here and squash this nonsense.
Here's what I think. I'll tell you what I think, and you see if you agree with me. A little different, but along the same lines. Oregon's program is at the level where it is about these games.
Yes.
And Texas, I think what Suka's saying is Texas Tech wasn't one of those, whether that's fair or not. It's this game, and it was last year's Ohio State game, and that they're good enough now and sustainable enough at that level that this is it. It's time to win these, and if this one, again, they're underdogs. Indiana's but Oregon has more talent than Indiana.
Okay, fair. What conference?
What
conference is SMU in? Are they in the Big 12 or are they in the
ACC?
Yeah, ACC.
They're in the ACC.
ACC, Power Conference. Yeah.
With Cal and Stanford, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Well, I was like, isn't SMU in the AAC? So I was like, okay, the argument that used to be, I can't even keep it straight anymore. I was like, for some reason, Texas Tech seems like you referenced last year's Ohio State game. Well, last year's Ohio State game was the quarterfinals, which is exactly where Oregon beat Texas Tech, right?
Yeah.
So I would say it is fair for the expectations to win college football playoff games. They have done that, right? I also think that it's fair, like you said, it's the way it's set up for them now to be in a national championship conversation each year. That is a fair, realistic expectation. The reason I'm pushing back so hard on this right now is because James Franklin was fired. And like that is not. I'm sorry, but I will sit here and I will bet you. I'll hand you the keys to my car, the deed to my house. Like what? Dan Lanning is not going to be fired if Indiana beats them tomorrow. Like that. That is not. That's apples and oranges for me.
Yeah.
But if they don't win this, and again, the narrative isn't always right or fair.
It's just a narrative.
But if they don't win this, it's going to start to seep into the Dan Lanning chatter that, hey, what more, like you're teeing yourself up, but you're losing at the biggest moments.
And that's all I'm saying.
And that's where this moment is.
And I don't think it's fair, but I think that that will be the overwhelming narrative and not, hey, that's a hell of a year for a year. I think next year, especially if Dante Moore comes back, the next 2 years, I think those are your big windows where this should line up to maybe do something special. And I just don't think anyone with a loud voice or the majority of people are going to think rationally and be like, hey, hell of a year. We didn't expect you to be here. You win 2 playoff games and you couldn't get over the hump against the best team in the country. And maybe they end up being the eventual national champions and tip of the cap. We'll see you next year. I think it's going to be more of what Rob said of you lost to a more talented, or you're more talented than Indiana. They don't have the star power, and you lost to them twice in the same year. My God, why can't they win these big games? Not saying it's fair, but that will be the stupid narrative that floats around, and people will scream about it.
So don't amplify stupid narratives.
Well, that's what we do.
Stop the conversation here, and don't just because other people. It's like I tell my teenagers. Just because other people say stupid things and make stupid decisions doesn't mean that you have to do that as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they've established anything, if you want to look at it more glass half full, if they've established anything, it's that I think, like you were saying, coming into the season, I think a lot of people thought Oregon was a year away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think if they've established anything this year, if you want to look at it positively, it's that they're never just a year away. They're so talented, and with the transfer portal, that they're in it whether it all lines up or not. I mean, that's how good they are. They've established that this year
if,
when
if
nobody
I remember,
expected
they were eighth or something like that in the preseason. I saw something the other day where none of the major, AP writers picked any of the four semifinalists in their top five to start the season, right? So, you assume if you're going to do your preseason rankings and say, here's my top four, top five, that those are the teams you're expecting to be in the semifinals. Nobody picked any of these four teams to be here. So change the subject, go somewhere else. This is toxic. We're getting ready. We're on the precipice of a national college football semifinal game, and you're talking about comparing to James Franklin and Penn State.
Yeah,
hey,
idiot. Sucanic. Freaking
dummy.
Sucanic. Unbelievable.
God.
My God.
All right, well, let's take a break. We are here with Joey Harrington. They call him J. Joseph for short. Harrington, former Duck quarterback. It is brought to you by Mods PDX. The future of building is here. We got to get the patented Joey Harrington worry meter in. People want to know. You were worried the first game. I remember. I don't remember your exact level, but I think it was like 8.5. We'll see where it is for this game coming up next with Joey Harrington here on 105.1 The Fan.
FM and 1080 AM.
All right, we're back with Joey Harrington, and it's time for the patented Joey Harrington worry meter. Do you remember what you spit out the first game? Because I know you were worried about
before
it.
the break. You told me it was 8.5.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was pretty high.
It was either 7.5 or 8.5.
It was higher than my worry meter.
It was high. I know it was higher than Penn State.
Yeah,
because
it was.
Penn State was previous, and I was like a 7.5 or an 8, and then I was super worried for the Indiana one.
How do we feel about a rematch?
7.5.
Okay, a little better.
Yeah, because what is it? 5 of the last, or not years. There have been 5. What's the rematches? That's where I was like repeats. No, rematches of regular season meetings and then college football playoff meetings. And in 4 of the 5, the team that lost during the regular season won the playoff meeting. And the only one that didn't happen is Ole Miss and Tulane. When Ole Miss beat Tulane, was that last year?
That was this year.
That was this year.
Yeah, they beat them.
God, that was this year, wasn't it? Jeez, yeah. I'm getting old. That was the only one. So it's tough to beat somebody twice. It's tough to line up against them and beat a great team for a second time. And I think there's going to be weight behind that. I think there's validity to that. Now, at the same time, I think that Indiana is the best team in the country right now. Like that, and anybody who thinks differently can go pound sand. Like this is a team that has been, was overlooked at the start of the year, and week after week has shown people that they are the best team in the country right now. And so it's going to be tough. Like this is a solid football team top to bottom. And they gave Oregon's offense fits in Eugene, create a couple late interceptions, a fumble, 6 sacks or something like that. This is a formidable team. And I think that it's tough to do it a second time. So it's not as the worry meter isn't as high for me this time.
Yeah, I think it helps Oregon that they've seen them. They've been on the field with them. They know the personnel. They know the matchups. They know how physical they are, how disciplined they are. That helps. What, from a quarterback perspective, what should we be watching for early with Dante Moore? Because it did seem like in that first game, Indiana really confused him. What do you hope to see early in the game to give us some, to give us a feel for how he's handling Indiana's defense?
Boy, I'm trying to think of the times when he has felt a bit out of rhythm, right? And like you said, the two games that pop into mind are the Indiana game at home, and the Texas Tech game. Right. I mean, God, number 31, Texas Tech's defensive end. I mean, the guy was in his face just about, in his lap oh my God. And in those situations, what Dante has been really good at doing is, he didn't throw the interceptions until late in the game. Right. One of them was a tip ball. The other one he tried, had to try and make a play, but he's been really good about not forcing balls, right? Against Texas Tech, a lot of balls to running backs out of the backfield. A lot of, he got pressure early, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wait, back out of the backfield. That's not going to work against Indiana. You can do that against Wisconsin when you're off rhythm. Hell, you can do that against Iowa when you're off rhythm, right? And then make a throw at the end of the game. This is going to be a game where he's going to have to step up into the pocket, right? We talked about it after the Texas Tech game. There were a couple times where he got pressure in his lap and he retreated and either got sacked or threw it away or dumped it off, right? Didn't make a big mistake. Didn't throw an interception, didn't turn the ball over deep in his own territory. But had he stepped up into the pocket, it's a tough thing to teach a quarterback, right? You got pressure coming at you. A lot of times the best place to go is forward, to go by it, to allow that tackle to push the DN by. So if you see him step into pressure and deliver a strike across the middle of the field, like that's what I'm looking to see. He's going to have to make a couple plays. He's going to have to, I don't want to say put the team on his back, because he doesn't. But remember, like, this is a receiving core that is just getting back to full strength, right? We haven't seen DeCorian Moore in the way that we saw him early in the season. This is a backfield that is down to two running backs, right?
Yeah.
From the 6. Like, this is a time where he is going to have to, and not do it every play, but have a couple moments where he steps up into the pocket and makes a big throw down the field and create some offense, maybe at a time where, he's been a bit more conservative in the past.
Yeah, when I look at that first game, so I went back and I watched it this week, and a couple things jumped out at me. One is Oregon actually ran the ball pretty well. The 6 sacks and the negative yardage is what killed them, but they ran pretty well inside the tackles, not so much outside. They had some success, and I don't really understand why they stopped running it. Like, Indiana plays a nickel. They don't. That's just their base defense, and their whole thing is no explosive plays, keeps everything in front of you. And Oregon, I thought, was doing a pretty good job of keeping the in front of the sticks, running the ball real well. And then I thought they got too cute, and they just kind of stopped running the ball. I don't think necessarily Indiana forced them to stop running the ball. I think they just kind of went away from it. And I think that's one, to me, where, yes, Dante Moore needs to play better, but also if Indiana wants to give you 5 yards a carry, take 5 yards a carry. And I think that's whole Indiana's thing is you're going to make a mistake along the way. And I thought Oregon got impatient and was like, God, I don't know if we can go 15 plays without making a mistake. And I think they have to do that. And then Moore has to be good in spots. Also in pass protection, a lot of those sacks, those were covered sacks or running back sacks. I don't necessarily think the first play Harkey got beat real bad.
O-lineman, not blaming the O-line.
Well, I mean, it just like some of that was confusion along the O-line. I thought the backs were poor, and like you said, I think Dante needed to do a better job. So I guess
so here's the thing. So the question from Ropp was, what am I looking for from Dante in early in the game, in the first half, right? And he, like, I hesitated to say it. I was like, he doesn't have to put the team on his shoulders, but he has to step up and make 2 or 3 of those throws.
Yes.
Right, where you look back and say, there it is, right? Exactly. Run the football, 5 yards chunk, dump it in the flat, take 4, take 3, bam, step up, wham, and that's the play to keep the drive going, right?
Yes.
A big third and 8 conversion, a shot down the field. It's not like he has to throw the ball 50 times a game, because I agree. He does. That's not what you want. You want this running game to be successful. You want to do exactly what you said, continue to run the ball out the field, and then there's going to be 2 or 3 chances where Dante has to step up in the pocket and deliver a strike into tight coverage to score, to move the chains, to switch the momentum. There's going to be a moment or two like that where he is going to have to step in and be the guy.
Yeah, because I think in that first game, if I'm off the top of my head, they were like 3 of 15, 3 of 16, and third down. The average, the average on that third down was like 3rd and 7, which is not the world you want to live in against this Indiana defense. And now with the emergence of Sadiq being healthy and now Johnson on the other side, I really think that Oregon's going to play a lot of 12 personnel, come out and be heavy and really give them a steady dose, even with the reduced depth in the backfield. I think they're going to pound it between the tackles and then try to take some shots downfield, like you said, in appropriate times. But they just have to, they can't live in the 3rd and 7 world. It has to be on time and just take what the defense gives you. And I just think they got out of rhythm in that first one and got a little greedy with it and thought that there were big plays to be had. And there just isn't. Indiana just doesn't really give up a lot of big plays. So I just think they have to be,
but here's the
they
thing.
have to be really judicious with it.
You use the phrase takes what the defense gives you. Well, I think taking what the defense gives you puts them in a position where it's it's a close game in the fourth quarter.
Yes,
But-
for sure.
yes.
But that's not like, I don't know. I think taking what the defense gives you, and yes, I'm 100%, 98% behind that strategy for the majority of the game. But I'm still coming back to a couple. There's gonna have to be a couple moments where Dante is special.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the last, Trinidad Chambliss. He was absolutely special in that fourth quarter against Georgia. Look at Mendoza against Alabama. He was absolutely special from start to finish. There are going to be a couple moments where you have to, like, where Dante is going to have to be the man, because let's not forget, this is not Indiana from the last 80 years when they haven't won a Big Ten championship since 1945. This is the best team in college football right now.
Yeah.
And he is going to have a couple moments where he rises above and puts the team on his shoulders, not for the whole game, but says, this is where I'm going to take control. I'm going to hit you right where it counts. Now let's get back to our game plan.
You're right, because if you go back, the two throws in overtime against Penn State, the deep throw up the sideline against Iowa, the Sadiq touchdown over the middle, the ripping the ball in between four defenders against Washington when that was got into a field goal game, the one to Malik Benson. Right. There have been moments, you are right, where Dante Moore shows you glimpses and you're like, okay, that's why someone's going to take him number 3 overall. And you are 100%. If you're going to slay the beast, and at this point it's weird to say, but Indiana is the beast.
Indiana's the beast.
They've beaten Oregon, they've beaten Penn State, and they've beaten Alabama. They've proved it.
And Ohio State.
And yeah. Like they are the beast right now. And you're right. And in order to do that, Dante Moore is going to have to show you a couple moments why he could be the number 1 overall pick. Because that's when we looked at Texas Tech and you said, what's the biggest difference? Hey, two really good teams. There's an NFL quarterback and there's a guy getting ready to play his last snap. And in this game, it's not. You probably have the number 1 and number 2 overall picks. And it may just be as simple as which one of those kids makes the mistake and which one of those kids makes this is why I'm the number 1 player in the country.
Might I add? As well, it's not just Dante Moore. It's, when we talked about this yesterday, but worth repeating. Oregon has 58 4 or 5 star players.
Yeah.
Indiana has 7. And to your point about Dante Moore needing to step up, I mean, this is where I play the odds. I think Oregon is going to win because I feel like it's going to be a really good close game, chess match type of game where you rely on somebody in that 58, some special player to make a special play. Miami has this with Bain and Messidor and the guys that are stepping up for them. Oregon's got to have, it doesn't have to be, it's Dante Moore's the most important position, but I mean, somebody in there, Oregon has the odds to have that guy step up somewhere. Sadiq, who knows who it is? Maybe it's somebody on defense.
Yeah, Finney, who had the MVP of the Texas Tech
But
game,
this is, like you mentioned, Chambliss, this is the level of the tournament where that happens. Yeah. Because everything else is pretty equal.
But here's the thing, though, Rob, is that 5-star outside linebacker or that 5-star safety doesn't have the ball in his hands every single play.
No, that's right. That's
so they have opportunities, maybe 1 or 2, where, hey, great. Pick off 2 passes, make an incredible tackle off the edge, and recover a fumble. Man, there you go. There's a great example of a defensive player having a game-changing performance. But Dante will have the ball in his hands every single time, and it's why 9 times out of 10 you can have all the studs around you that you want, but it is the quarterback who gets the blame, and it's the quarterback who gets the credit because he's the one who pulls the trigger. And you know what? I don't care how many guys you have around you. If you have the ball in your hands and your job is to throw a skinny post into a 3-foot wide space 27 yards down the field, by God, you better put it on a front shoulder.
That's right.
And that's your job.
I feel you, QB. Now, here's my last question, and Suk and I are on the same page here. I want to see what you think. Do you think Dan Lanning has it in him to be conservative in the game management department here? In other words, we were talking about, the 4th and 1s, the 4th and 2s. If 3 points are there, this may be the type of game where you take the points. Do you think he can do that or will do that or should do that?
Had they not just played the game against Texas Tech last week? Yeah, that was last week. It seems like longer than that. I would say not necessarily. There were moments, and maybe I'm confusing. Didn't he say that he should have taken, that he would have, looking back, he should have taken 3 in one of those situations?
Yeah, I think he said something like that. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he knew how the defense was playing, obviously.
I think that having that experience against Texas Tech last week because they were going for it on 4th down. They were going for it. I mean, they weren't kicking anything.
Eight times they went for it.
I mean, I think experience where he looks back and said, yeah, you know what, it probably would have helped us to take the 3. Having that as your last experience, I think may influence. It's not going to change him. He's still going to be an aggressive coach, but I think it may influence him a little bit to kick it 1 out of those 8 times.
Well, I hope so, because I think the 3s, this is going to be a battle, and I think it's okay to punt at times, even though it's enticing, and I think it's okay to take 3 at times, even though it's enticing to go for it. I get his style, but maybe not this game.
Well, remember, Alabama went for it on 4th and short from their own 30, whatever, didn't get it, and it kind of
changed the whole game.
Yes.
And,
exactly.
So I wonder, too, they all do their film study, and I don't think Dan's influenced by a lot of what other people do, but I wonder if in the back of the mind you look at that and be like, man, it's you let Indiana get going downhill, it can be a wagon.
Okay. Well, here we go. Enjoy it. Thank you for your hot commentary. We appreciate you.
Oh, boy, now I'm all nervous.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. I will say this. I would bet my house that in the 4th quarter, this is a 1-score game. I do not think that this is going to be a game where one team is just rolling. I think this is going to be a heavyweight fight. I just don't see another way that this goes down.
I hope you're right.
Bye.
Bye.
Joey Harrington, courtesy of Mods PDX. The future of building is here. The club is next on The Fan.
Running
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan. This update is brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan. CFP semifinal starts tonight. We are in the second quarter, late second quarter, right before halftime. Miami up 17-10, an exciting game in the first semifinal. Tomorrow, the other semifinal of the Peach Bowl. Oregon taking on Indiana, 4:30 kickoff. We'll have all your Ducks coverage you need leading up to the game live at 4:30. Dolphins are making their move at head coach, firing Mike McDaniel after 4 seasons. McDaniel had a 4-17 record against teams with records above 500. Ryan Gunnarsson, the former Oregon State offensive coordinator, has found a new gig. He will be the new quarterback coach for the University of Utah. Washington quarterback Damon Williams said yesterday he was going to hit the portal. Well, now he's going to be back at the University of Washington. He announced that on the social media today. So Washington gets their quarterback. Travis Kelce says he believes he'll return for a 14th season as long as his body can hold up. And the Trailblazers, they're at it again. They win 103-102 last night against the Houston Rockets. Denny Advia, the reigning Western Conference Player of the Week, 41 points, his highest as the Portland Trailblazers. Next up is another game against the Houston Rockets on Friday from the Moda Center. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at Warren Allen.
The home of Primetime.
First half.
Yeah.
We're way over. Sorry, Steven.
Shocking.
Steven's already been, I think Steven's already tired of trying to get us out on time, and he's been defeated.
Yeah,
I know the bit.
Blame Joey.
What's that?
I know the bit. It's all good.
Yeah. 5 days in, he's like,
He's been beaten down by life. It's like that disgruntled teacher. He's like, whatever.
That's what I heard coming into the job. They're going to beat you down.
Yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to learn. All right, I don't want to teach.
Yeah.
We're good here.
It's
Turn on a
tough.
film strip and turn out the lights. We're good.
All right. Well, we should probably take a break.
Probably.
Get back on track here. I've got the 10 small habits that reveal a lot about your personality.
All right, let's do this.
We can do that. 21 facts about your body that will make you wonder how we're not all dead.
Those ones are always disturbing. What is you think about how many ways there are to die every day? It's kind of impressive that you've made it this long. Have you ever wondered what's the closest you've ever come to dying?
Yeah, I think about stuff like
yeah,
that all
I do
the
that
time.
every now and then.
Well, there was one time when I was, we were hiking in Colorado in the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
And I remember I was with my family, and I remember I was just a kid, 8, 9, I don't know. I remember running up a side hill on this trail.
Sure.
But the drop off on the other side
You go
of
off,
the
you-
trail,
you
you're
die.
dead.
Yeah.
And I remember running back down to the trail and slipping. And I almost tumbled right over the
Came close?
The edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny. You think about all those kind of. Most of us have probably had one or two of those times in your life where you're like, "Oh my god!"
And then who would be your co-host?
Exactly. Well, you think about it's the whole sliding door thing, right? I mean,
what is the sliding door thing?
Well, it's the the serendipity. Like one door opens, when you slide it, one side opens, the other side closes. Like all the different things. Like if that happens, you're right. My life is, that's Salina, Kansas. I had no idea. How old were you?
Like I said, maybe 8 or 9. I don't know.
8 or 9.
I don't remember.
So 5-year-old me in Gresham, Oregon. I think I would have been in Gresham at that point.
Oh, nice.
5-year-old Gresham.
I didn't know you had a Gresham run in you.
Yeah, a Gresham run. Yeah,
Nice.
so 5-year-old on Battaglia
Explains
Street.
a lot, doesn't it?
5-year-old, some little 5-year-old kid riding around on his big wheel in Gresham. His life forever changed because you didn't go over the edge.
Yeah.
I always think about that stuff. It's weird. We were driving across the bridge just this week. It was on Sunday. We were going over to see the Winterhawk game, and there was a wreck on 205, the bridge, the Glenn Jackson Bridge, and one of the cars had spun around the other way. So obviously he got kind of fishtailed or whatever, and 2 of his wheels were up on the edge of the bridge. So he was doing like a Dukes of Hazzard sort of thing, and it scared the living daylights out of me. And I thought, how effing terrifying was that car wreck? Now, it didn't look like anyone was seriously hurt or anything like that, but he was just driving like a Honda Accord. That guy got hit someone, spun, hit the wall, and somehow both of his tires ended up, there was a moment where he thought, well, this is it.
I'm out.
I'm over the edge. And luckily it stopped and it just sat there. And we've all had those moments. And and then we've all heard the story about, some sort of tragedy happening. And I don't know, that stuff every now and then when I see stuff like that, it just rolls through my brain.
Boy, Chambliss about threw a pick 6 right there with 20 seconds left in the half. Did you see that? Look at that.
Oh, boy.
Guy dropped it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was...
Whoa.
That's what they say.
See, that's the little things like...
Yeah, stuff like that, yeah.
How do you predict anything like that?
You don't. And he can throw, and now he throws a touchdown. I'm not saying, but, if he throws a touchdown here,
Oh, no, his receiver dropped it too.
But yeah, and that's the same thing, the sliding door thing. Every sports game you can go to has some play where you're like, that. All the dude has to do is catch the ball, and that is forever changed.
All right, coming up next, as I mentioned, the 10 small habits that reveal a lot about your personality on the Fan.
Dirt and Sprague.
7 feet of snow in Juneau, Alaska. Did you see that?
That's a lot of
7 feet.
Well, and Juneau is not really a, that's not snow territory. That's like southeast Alaska.
Yeah.
That's more Seattle weather than it is Anchorage. So
They said it was the snowiest December in 80 years.
yeah, that's just not normal for Juneau. Juneau is kind of, it's beautiful, but it's very cold, rainy, and depressing.
Every day you act in ways that share clues about your personality, Jason. You didn't know this, did you?
I did not. Although it makes sense.
These tiny little things add up over time to give a good picture of who you are and what motivates you. And I have a Reader's Digest bit here.
Okay. I remember old Reader's Digest.
Yeah.
I used to let my parents got that, and I would
was
read
great.
it when I was on the can.
That and TV Guide.
Yeah. The cheers and the jeers.
I feel like they always had like a pile of them at like the school library.
Yeah.
Yep.
It
Yeah,
was
they're just laying around.
Yeah, they're just laying around.
Yeah, like TV Guide, Reader's Digest, and the old National
National
Geographic
Geographic,
that
yeah.
maybe you saw some up tops.
Everyone goes to the Geographic.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom had National Geographic was a big one in our house. And it was good. I mean, look, let's not talk about just the up tops. Like, National Geographic is a great magazine.
Absolutely. But
Great
look,
photographs,
when you
great-
were a kid,
great culture.
When you were a kid, you wanted to see the
I mean,
tribes.
it didn't hurt.
11-year-old Steven's at the library at school. I'm looking at up tops.
Yeah. Well, the kids today don't appreciate the fact that nudity was not something that you just came across. You had to work for
They
it.
don't understand. We were talking about that with Casey, how it was so hard to gamble back in the day.
Yeah.
Now it's so easy.
Oh, I used to drive. We used to go over to Jansen Beach to play sports action. Like it was it was a chore.
Yeah, Casey has no idea. He's in there placing $5 15-leg parlays.
Yeah.
And Steve and I are trying to tell him, dude, you couldn't do that.
I had my identity stolen by 5 dimes. I mean,
Just to place a bet.
Five dimes, Tony. That's why I ended
Hey,
up.
you know what? I deposited the next day again.
Is that Noah Whittington thing true?
Noah Whittington has been deemed questionable on the availability report. So
Oh no.
I don't know. I mean, he's questionable.
Jay Harris though is playing. Is going to play.
He is going to play.
He is going to play.
It sounds like it.
Right.
So someone asked Will Stein about him, and Will Stein Will Stein just praised him a bunch. So everyone was like, I assume that means Jay Harris is playing. So yeah, it sounds like you've got.
It is official that Lanning
Great
did
little
say
player.
he is playing.
Oh,
Jay
okay.
Harris is
Yes,
playing.
Jay
So
Harris
we have
is
Jay Harris.
Okay, that's good.
So you have-
Because Hill is that guy.
Yeah.
He's
One of the things to keep an eye on, he's not good in pass protection, and neither is Jay Harris. So if
shut up.
Whittington can't go, this is not good. Because he's the one guy that you would trust in pass protection, and by the way, they weren't very good.
Well,
in
he's your
pass
number
protection.
one guy. I
Yeah,
mean,
you need Whittington in this game. So.
Yeah, and if you don't have Whittington, you need Davison.
Yeah.
If you don't have him,
Yeah, it's not great.
you need Hill. If you don't have him,
it's
you
not
need Harris. If you don't have him,
Again, questionable is still, we'll see what happens.
right.
So, but yes, that is official.
Okay, the first. What is it again?
It's the habits that reveal your personality.
13 small habits that
13
actually
small
reveal a lot about your personality. Okay.
Okay.
Number one is the way you walk.
Hmm.
A big personality reveal, says body language expert Carol Kinsey Goman.
Okay.
For instance, someone who walks with a measured, even stride and with their head up conveys a confident personality and tends to be socially adept and open. There's a reason many celebrities and politicians use this power walk. On the other hand, walking with a caved-in posture, shoulders slumped, head down, curled in, shows that you're feeling vulnerable. This can indicate a very self-conscious personality type or someone who is often lost in their own thoughts.
Yeah, that makes sense. We all know the dude that walks with the.
That's me. I
with
walk
the
like
swagger.
that, and I am definitely lost in my own thoughts. Like, my head is spinning.
I'm a shuffler.
Usually.
I think I'm a head up, shoulders back, but there's a shuffle to it. It's that I'm a very slow walker, and it drives people around me crazy. Anyone that has to walk with me, they're not happy.
Yeah,
about it.
you're a slow walker.
I'm a very slow walker.
It's obnoxious.
But you do walk like you got a big you got
Yeah.
the big walk.
Yeah,
You kind of waddle. You have a waddle.
Yeah, it's not. It's weird.
It's an odd gait.
Yes.
But getting stuck behind Suk
It's
in the
not
hall
good.
is no good. Because he's a wide gate.
Yeah.
And you can't pass him.
No, but it's slow, and I know it, and I try to like.
You do try to speed up.
I do try to speed up. I am aware that I'm a slow walker, and I don't think about it. I know that's a thing. So if I'm walking with other people, I realize someone's behind me or with a group, I will make the attempt. But my natural speed is like, it's turtle style.
Coach Vaughn's family, they're all small people. And so they like weave in and out of people when they're walking in groups. And I'm just this big giant dude. I have to try to keep up. I'm like Souk. Like I'm trying to run through those people. But these little people, they just squeak right through.
Yeah. Like little rodents.
Yeah. You got this big giraffe over here.
There's always... I always do the, I forget who it was, but there was a movie line or whatever. He said, I never saw a gunfighter run to a fight. So I'm like, that's what I try to be like, oh, I'm just strolling, when the reality is I'm just slow as hell. But I'm like, it's a gunslinger stroll. No, it's kind of a waddle shuffle is what it is.
Your handshake expresses a lot about you. A simple, firm, and brief handshake with one up and down motion shows you have a confident personality, while a limp handshake indicates you are insecure, afraid, or shut down. If you use the two-hand arm shake, it indicates aggressiveness or an attempt to dominate.
Okay.
Similarly, shaking hands with your palm down shows that you are dominant, like you come up over the top. And then it also shows that you're controlling and possibly aggressive. And one thing to consider from this expert, never wipe your hand just after you have shaken hands with someone, because that communicates that you find the person dirty or that you are someone who is overly worried about germs.
I would be I don't know about offended, but I would, if I shook someone's hands and immediately they wiped, I'd be like,
I always try to hide my handshake wipes, which I do all the time. Actually, the fist bump, COVID.
Yeah.
Listen, COVID was great.
Yeah, you love
I don't know if you guys remember COVID. A lot of great stuff came out of COVID. One of the things was everybody now fist bumps.
Yes.
And that's fantastic. Yes. Because the germ spreading is less, and that's great.
I have stated before, I do not mind shaking hands. I'm not a germaphobe, but it is one of my great pet peeves. Everyone tries to crush my hand, and I effing hate it. To the point where I do not like to shake hands.
Why do they try to crush your hand?
Because it's the big guy thing.
Oh.
And so they want to do the real tough guy
Real high
handshake.
T.
And I don't have big hands, and my hands are not the most, they're a little brittle. I've broken my hands. I have busted fingers. And just know, if you meet me and you shake my hand really hard, I think you are an absolute D-bag. There's no reason
there's
for you to
firm.
squeeze my hand.
Firm and hard.
Yes.
Two different things.
I don't mind firm.
Nice firm handshake, you got to have it.
I'm fine with that, but I'm telling you. Steven, do you get this being a big guy?
I do.
Why? What are you doing? Do you want to measure penises? Why are you grabbing my hand so effing hard? I hate
firm or hard.
Just
measuring firm or hard.
Gosh, something
firmer
hard. I can't.
No, but it's true. Especially, it's the little guys. The little guys want to be like, "Oh, what's up, Souk? Hey, Jason, nice to meet you."
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like if you hug me and you slap my back.
Yeah, I hate that.
Don't we can hug. I'm a hugger, but you don't need to. You don't need to Jim Harbaugh me.
It's the one pat. You pat it once, you get out.
Your email etiquette says a lot about you. If you're trying to pick up cues from your coworker, the answer may lie in their emails. There's a connection between our email persona and our real-life character. How you write emails, what you write, and when you write them can be pretty accurate in predicting your personality.
Email persona? I had no idea.
Narcissists will generally use words such as I, me, and mine frequently. Extroverts tend to be more casual and talk about fun things like music and parties. Of course, it's not only what you say, it's also how you say it. An absence of typos is a sign of someone's conscientiousness, perfectionism, and potential obsessions, whereas poor grammar can indicate lower levels of IQ.
Bingo.
And academic intelligence.
Dum-dum over here, 100%.
Interestingly, long emails reflect energy and thoroughness, but also some degree of neediness.
Oh, no.
Boy, that is all so true.
Because mine are short and they're filled with plot holes and spelling errors.
But see, you and I, if there's one, we differ in a lot of ways.
Yes.
If there's one way we differ the most, it might be grammar.
Yes.
Because I am a stickler on grammar,
Yes,
and
you
you cannot spell anything,
Nope.
including my own name, after 20 years of working together. Which, by the way, I should play this for. I don't know if our guys heard this here. Steven, I'm going to play something for you, and then I'll finish my thought. By the way, let me tee this up. This is Souk and I behind the scenes with Mike Lynch recording a spot that Souk wrote.
Yeah. It's not fake. This is a real interaction.
You know how to spell my name?
What?
spell my name.
R-O-P-P.
My first name.
Yeah, Isaac.
Spell it.
Why?
He doesn't know how to spell my name.
It's I-S-S. No, you use the other. Wait.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I know. I do this every time.
God, you're a piece of All right.
No,
it's
not
Isaac. Oh.
It's not 2 S's, it's 2 A's.
Yeah, that's right. It's not what it says here, but yeah, that's right.
What? Oh, yeah. It's I-S-A-A-C.
Yeah.
Okay. I always do that. I always do 2 S's, but it's not.
That's
It's
cool.
2 A's.
Yeah, that's
Spell
cool.
my last name, f***er.
S-C-U-K-A-N-E-C.
Damn it.
It's not fucking hard.
All right, well, either way. I got it. It just took me a second.
No, you didn't.
I always put 2 S's
You don't know
there.
how to spell my name. Look at that.
I-S-A-A-C.
Damn it, you! Yeah. So that was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what year that was.
Oh, it was a while back.
I mean, we've been together a long time.
That's a real interaction, though.
Which it still to this day blows me away that you did not know how to spell my name after years of working together. Fascinating. Anyway, if that is a degree of separation
Yes,
between
100%.
And this is exactly right. Like it says, an absence of typos is a sign of someone's conscientiousness, perfectionism. That's
Yeah.
me. And potential obsessions, also me.
Yeah.
Whereas poor grammar indicates lower levels of
Lower
IQ.
levels of IQ.
Moron.
Well, and you know too, I had I sent a message to a buddy of mine, he's a bartender, and in my one of my fave bartenders, and I sent him a message over the holidays, and I noticed it was a blue bubble, and he's a green bubble guy. So I was like, oh.
I thought you were a green bubble guy.
No,
you got an iPhone.
No, I got an iPhone. And he responded with, new phone, I'm guessing this is soup. and I kind of laughed, and I was like, yeah, it's me. And he said something like, yeah, your cadence, you have a unique cadence or whatever, which was a friendly way of being like, yeah, I know it's you, dumbass. But yeah, there
You
was.
misspelled something?
Oh, I'm sure I did. And there's just, we all have our own. It's just your way of talking, even via text.
Yeah, that's interesting. Would I know it's you? Like if you got rid of the names
Yeah.
in your contacts
Yeah.
and you just had text messages come in,
Yeah.
could you tell? Well, not by what they say,
Yeah.
but just by their cadence. Could
well,
you tell who it was?
He got, it was like because he responded pretty quickly, and he was like, new phone, not sure this is, but I'm guessing soup.
There's such thing as a text cadence.
Yes, and that's what he said. He goes, he said your texts have a cadence and just kind of the way you refer to him or whatever, something like that.
You said, hey, S-bag.
I think because I always say he's like I always comment because he's a handsome fella. He's a tall, handsome guy. So I think I said something in there about like being a handsome bartender or something, as I tend to do, and I think he was like, "Oh, well, that's you."
All right.
Or maybe you like if you have a friend you call a certain name or you insult him or whatever.
I do like to send insulting texts.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
especially your friends.
Fun pastime.
Yes.
Yeah. 13 small habits that actually reveal a lot about your personality. More next. Here's Steven.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, College Football Playoff semifinals have started. Game 1, Miami taking on Ole Miss. We are at halftime in this one. Miami up 17-13. As we're heading into the third quarter, Miami will receive the second half kickoff. Of course, the winner of that game will take on the winner of the Peach Bowl tomorrow between the Oregon Ducks and Indiana Hoosiers. We'll have all your Ducks coverage right here on the Fan leading up to the game, and then the actual game on the air. Indiana 3.5-point favorites over the Duckies. Dolphins are firing their head coach Mike McDaniel after 4 seasons. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross met with McDaniel earlier this week to discuss the season. After that meeting, he decided to move on. McDaniel had a 4-17 record against teams with above 500 records. Former Oregon State offensive coordinator Ryan Gunderson, he has a new gig. He is being hired to be the University of Utah's new quarterback coach. Washington quarterback Damon Williams, he hit the portal yesterday, but he has now decided to go back to the University of Washington. So Washington getting their guy back after a debacle of things from Damon Williams. Travis Kelce says he will return to the NFL for a 14th season as long as his body can take it. Kelce will be an upcoming free agent if he doesn't indeed decide to play. And the Blazers, they win again, take out the Rockets 103-102 last night. But they have now won 4 in a row. Western Conference Player of the Week, Denny Advia, 41 points. That's a Blazer high for him since he's gotten here. Blazers Rockets face off again on Friday from the Moda Center. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
Sports Saturday with Joe.
All right, these are the 13 small habits that reveal a lot about your personality. Probably won't get through all of these, but we've already hit the way you walk, your handshake, and your email etiquette. Next on the list is nervous tics. If you're a nail biter or a skin picker.
Hair twirler,
Yeah.
lip biter, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
You can always tell when someone's a nervous person.
Scientists call these body-focused repetitive behaviors, and they say they're physical manifestations of your inward state. One 2022 study published in Brain Sciences noted that there is a vicious cycle of emotions and tic behaviors. The more people feel anxiety, tension, and stress, and frustration, the more exacerbated their tics become.
Yeah. That's one that you can just, if you're around people, you can look at it and you can tell who's comfortable, who's not. 100%.
People who compulsively tug on their hair or bite their nails tend to be perfectionists. Their actions are a result of trying to soothe boredom, irritation, and dissatisfaction. Next one, punctuality. Whether you arrive early, on time, or late sends a powerful message about your personality. People who value punctuality are often rule followers and people pleasers, while those who are chronically late may be more self-focused.
Yeah, it's that idea of your time's more important than someone else's, something like that. And that, like you get caught up in your own world.
I think there's a difference between being late once or twice.
Sure.
It does happen.
Sure.
Like you hit, something happens.
But there's some people that refuse to be late.
Chronically, yes. Oh, I refuse to be late.
Yeah.
But chronically late, it's a problem. It's a problem.
I'm trying to think. I will be on time for stuff that I deem important.
Oh, wait. We have to break now?
You are the most chronically late on-air person of all time.
I am, but I tell you what.
Yeah.
I take my punctuality seriously.
I do it it depends on what it is. Like,
I'm just not going to waste anyone's time.
Sure.
I think it's about other people's time.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like I said, sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know. I think it's
respect.
I think it's rude. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean,
disrespectful.
My thing is, like, if we say we're going to grab lunch, what time? 11:30. To me, there's no difference between being there at 11:25 and 11:34. Like, I don't care either way. Like, you're going to get. If we say we're there at 11:30 and I happen to be there at 11:25 and that person doesn't show up till 11:35, I don't think anything of it. Now, 11:45, I'm like, all right, that's kind of a D move. What are you doing? So I usually have a little wiggle room, and if it's something that's important, I know that there is a punctuality thing involved, then yes, I will make sure that I'm there on time. So I probably dance in the middle of these things.
Your eating habits. You are what you eat, but you're also how you eat. What you choose to eat, your favorite foods, when you eat, how much you eat, and your eating etiquette all give clues about your personality. Slow eaters are often conscientious people who like to be in control. Fast eaters tend to be ambitious and impatient. That's me.
Yeah. Well, everything you do, you are you're a fast twitch. You're go.
And I
go,
hate
go.
it.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
Yeah. And most things I have in my life, if you haven't noticed, that's where we are different. Rop is
Very
very
different,
quick,
yeah.
and I am very.
My wife is very slow.
Yeah.
She's like a sloth.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I just kind of go about my day. And
I don't
I'm
understand
like,
it.
I got my pace.
The adventurous eater is a thrill seeker and risk taker, while picky eaters are likely to exhibit anxiety and neuroticism.
I will say that I have a problem with people that eat like toddlers. And I'm not saying I have the most sophisticated palate in the world, but if you are a well-done steak and you order chicken fingers at a restaurant, like a decent restaurant, and like you can't try exotic foods, even if you're not going to, you're not going to love it, but you don't want to try. I think
That's weird.
I don't really have a desire.
Why would you not want to try something?
It happens all the time.
Especially with food. Like, it's so amazing. It's like amazing part of life.
I don't
in
care.
The world.
I always say not everything can be your favorite. Try some stuff.
And then it says, if you're someone who likes to separate different foods on their plate, I'm not this person. I can mix everything.
Yeah, I'm a mixer.
Yeah, it says if you are that person, you're very cautious and detail-oriented in your everyday life.
We're going to swirl this all together.
Okay, see how many more we can get in next as we wrap it up on The Fan.
The Oregon Duck.
reveal a lot about your personality. We had the way you walk, your email etiquette, your handshake, your nervous tics, and punctuality, and your eating habits. Next on the list is the color of your clothes. The style, cost, and even color are very revealing, according to a study published in Psychology of Aesthetics, Creativity, and the Arts.
Makes sense.
Researchers found that people who wore brightly colored or flashy clothes and expensive or designer accessories were much more likely to be insecure.
Douche. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I thought that's what you were going to say.
Yes, have low self-esteem and be a douche.
So Chad?
Less authentic.
That's Chad.
Seeking attention and trying to fit in with the perceived highbrow culture. Next, your shopping habits. Want to get to know someone better? Take them to the mall. People who love to shop and tend to shop too much are more likely to have personalities classified as hedonistic, extroverted, impulsive, open to new experiences, and maybe a little neurotic to boot.
Wouldn't think about that one, but yeah, makes sense.
However, people who just shopped for what they needed, that is 100% me, were more likely to have agreeable and conscientious personalities. Turning out, I'm pretty great.
I was like, I'm dialed in.
Next, how often you take selfies? To study the link between social media accounts and personality, researchers asked college students to fill out 2 surveys, one that looked at their selfie posting behaviors and one personality assessment. The results were fascinating. The more often someone posted selfies, the less emotionally stable they were.
Yeah.
And the lower their self-esteem.
100%. The more you post photos of yourself on Instagram, the more I think you're broken inside. 100%.
The last 3 are your handwriting, what you drink, and if you deflect compliments.
I can see all that. So bad handwriting in Coors Banquet, what does that say?
Well, we don't have time. I'll send you the link.
There you go.
Everybody have a great weekend. Well, actually, it's not the weekend, but tomorrow,
We're
be
off.
at the Thirsty Lion at noon. I may even make an appearance.
No, you won't.
Cooley's bringing out the credit card. I'm in.
No, you're
Let's do this.
Zero chance.
Ducks game tomorrow on The Fan. We're back Monday, 3 to 7 on The Fan.